You got the balls, little boy? Please cry. You got the balls? I saw you pointing the gun at my friend. I saw you pointing the gun at my friend, Jay. Get all mad, freaks come out at you. Yeah, why don't you go back and fucking help the children by getting rid of the pedophiles? You know that some of them are coming back, don't you? Whatever. Frank Ledford? You know Frank Ledford's coming back. Branch Ministries? Branch Ministry Crew? Go look it up. Branch Crew Ministries, that's what it is. Go look it up. He's doing videos about coming back to 1776. Woo!
I'm Buffalo Man. I've already told him he's not welcome back. Like I will not come here and teach you. I know. I'm Buffalo Man.
Oh, yeah, you're the one.
I just talked to Santa. I said, if he goes back, I'm not coming back. So,
well,
let you know.
Santa's trying to get Marcus back.
Who?
Marcus Popat?
No, he told Marcus he's not allowed back until, like Marcus said that he.
Do you realize that it's too late now?
I know Marcus said he's getting exonerated, and Santa said you're not coming back until you show me that letter.
Right. And he's saying it's out. But you know, people are drifting on TikTok for candy to get us vehicle fixed to get down here.
I will not be here.
But you know what? That's you and thank you for that. Honestly. No, I don't know you, but thank you. I've heard of you, but thank you, seriously. Honestly, but let me tell you what, no, dude, it's too late. It's too late. For 3 weeks at least, these motherfuckers let that happen.
If I was here when he was here, I would not have been here.
I should have that, so why are you doing that?
Because he's not here.
You don't have to support this.
Did you hear about my mom? She's in hospital.
No,
what a time this was.
I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
And he felt bad for you and you said something. I extended it.
You know what I said? I had for freedom. I was a PPC too.
Yeah. So, but dude, that's what I'm trying
to say. If there was a sex offender here, I would not be here.
But you understand that this
at one time.
No, it has that. It's there. And you gotta be rational. In the future where this is going.
All right. We got somebody here. So we're going to bring him up here. Hold on. And here we go. Welcome.
Can you hear me?
Oh, shit. What is up?
What's up?
What up, dude? I'm going to pull this off and hold on. Let me remove. Let me.
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you. How are you doing?
I'm pretty nervous to be up here, but bro, that's good. What are you watching here? Some video?
We're watching. Yeah, we're actually. It's about to get really interesting in this video. Actually, it's something that you've experienced actually yourself. Would you wanna? Do you wanna watch it with us?
Sure. But first, I would definitely want to say, fuck Scientology. Okay, they're a fucking scam. All your listeners should know they're a fucking scam. Okay, they are child trafficking children as we speak. They're still doing it. They're grooming children to audit adults for their own sexual purposes, and they're covering up rape. Jennifer Bubke, I don't know if we're allowed to talk about this because she's like in the middle of your case. She was one of the main people that covered up these kinds of crimes. When pedophiles would get off their crimes and sessions and stuff, Jennifer was the one that would see them and do an ethics handling, they call it, where you like read a bunch of references and then you do past amends conditions to make up whatever you've done that's bad. Go ahead.
I'm so glad you came up. Thanks for taking the time to come up here, Lewis. We really appreciate you coming up here, man. Here, so I will add this back up to the screen.
Sweet.
Let's see. Hold on. Share, present, stop screen, present, share screen, and share.
Hey, Louis, what's going on?
Hey, what's up, David?
Yeah. Cool. We're just hanging out, reminiscing here. 3 years back.
Yeah.
Yeah, is this like a protest or something you were at?
Yes, this is. I'll give you a little backdrop on it. This is basically where I kind of got my little internet fame. Was protesting this group that had 2 level 3 sex offenders within the group, and they stayed in this parking lot. And this is where all the lore of me, like stalking and kidnapping and stalking women, comes from. Actually, this day. So we're about to actually see. This was. I had with a few others. We had protested out in D.C. and the park police would not issue a permit to this group. So they came back to West Virginia. This is Bunker Hill, West Virginia, right on the border of Virginia and West Virginia. And they stayed in this parking lot with this known pedophile. And we got them evicted. A couple days later, they were evicted and kicked out of this place. And so this is my last day here. And you're about to see why this is my last day here.
And this is a spin-off from the trucker. I'm gonna say this is a spin-off from the trucker convoy.
Trucker convoy. I do remember. I'll just talk while we're here.
Yeah.
I do remember a meeting. Remember when we had breakfast?
Yep.
And at that one morning, like I don't know however long ago it was, and you were explaining to me like who you were. It was the first time I had ever met you. Actually, I met you at La Poubelle before that, actually. But
Yes.
this was the first time we were able to talk because you were like live streaming and kicking ass with the La Poubelle rapist people. Yeah, so I remember you trying to explain what you were doing and how you got into all this. I definitely remember when you did that first interview on the dog guy that attacked somebody. I remember when you did the interview and no one had who the fuck is DOA, because I thought it was Dead on Arrival. So I kept looking up Dead on Arrival. I didn't understand Defender of Ants, and I really didn't understand it until like 3 months later, you know.
Yeah, it's hard to explain all. Like, this is just weird. Like, and what's about to happen is crazy. And it was yeah, it was pretty crazy what happens here. It's a minute or two. Let's see.
All I know is we all need to come together somehow, somewhere.
But now it's too late.
Are there cops there?
No, not yet.
There will be.
Don't go anywhere. Stop right there. Where are you going?
Stop chasing me. Stop chasing me. Stop chasing me.
Stop right there.
Stop chasing me. Please stop chasing me.
Stop. Don't move away from me.
I'm not taking
You only got the ball.
I've already seen it.
Level 2 complete. Level 2 complete.
Hey, I'm not going to say it again. This group, go over to that corner. You guys, back the fuck up. Because we're
Yo.
playing with this bullshit. This is ridiculous. We got real crimes going on.
What are you guys doing, man? Take that.
Did you not hear the order I gave you to?
If they just told him to.
What's your name again?
I'm Lori Arnold. You got paperwork for me too. Wow. All right.
Is that you right there?
What did I do?
Yep.
Did I do something?
How old are you right there?
This is 3 years ago. Almost 4 years. Well, this is July of 2022.
Because there's pedophiles in there. Yeah, there's an
How old are you now?
43. So I was 39 or 40.
Okay.
Okay.
You guys feel it? Yeah.
Yeah, it's like 3.5 years ago.
You guys have attacked us numerous times.
It's
I
just
can't
like
hear the
Scientology.
video, but can you guys hear the video?
You can't hear the video?
I can't personally hear it now.
Can you guys hear it? David, can you hear the video?
Yeah, I can hear it.
Okay. That's probably why it sounds like I'm interrupting all the time.
It's all right. We're used to it. Not a big deal.
I know.
Yeah, this is Scott.
Look at that paperwork.
Look at the pile.
What are they saying?
They're basically just handing us paperwork. It's a bunch of restraining orders.
I'm Lori Arnold.
She's in
I turned it up.
They like kept this paperwork with themselves, like they're
Well,
just like
it's
driving
exact-
around with this fucking paperwork in their car.
right here. Ma'am,
Well,
Huh?
I'm right here.
this was basically just a setup, just kind of like how you were set up in St. Louis. This is kind of pretty much the same thing that happened. There was that paperwork was 6 times 6 is 36. That was 36 restraining orders in those papers.
Holy
Yeah.
crap!
Yeah, and they got
there was-
the West Virginia cops to serve it.
Yeah, just like Scientology. So that was 36 restraining orders that you just saw there. And every single restraining order was beaten. 34 of the restraining orders were beaten, besides 2. One stuck with me, and which was bullshit because the girl who it stuck with me had 5 other restraining orders, and they were all dismissed because it was false. It was stalking, doxing. Basically, every restraining order that I've gotten has been the same thing. 36. Yeah, you saw the stack of papers that were in there. No, it was 6 different protesters, 6 different people that filed them. So there was 6 victims allegedly, and then 6 different protesters.
And they're all in the
So-
same group that you were fighting.
Yes, we were just out on this easement where they had told us to be, and they filed restraining orders, said that we were stalking them.
So this
And-
is like a common tactic, then, I guess, in protester land.
Yep. This is very, very common because then they filed 3 more, so I had 9 from them, and then the one of the girls filed one in Fort Wayne, Indiana, 3 years ago, and then she refiled like another one in June of this year of 25, or no, June of 24, right after the occupation, and I was able to beat it this year, or in 2025, in like February 2025, I beat that restraining order. So
Seems
yes,
like
it
a
is a
scam
very,
by the courts to allow
It's a
all these
total scam.
restraining orders.
well, you know what? I'm glad you came up right during this because this is perfect. Do you mind talking about your restraining orders?
I
What
don't
had
mind
happened there?
one restraining order. Okay.
Yeah, one. I'm gonna get us all on the same play here. I would love to hear your. I just don't feel like you've even had the platform to even tell the story about this yet. Truthfully, go ahead.
So do you want me to just start from like when I got it?
Yeah, well, this is Mrs. J, little twat waffle ass. She really had made this out into something that it was not. And so I want to
Oh,
hear
yeah.
the truth now. I want to hear the truth because it was such BS. And because what you just saw there, I know how much BS it was. And I watched that video so many times of you getting arrested. And I was so confused at how everything had gone down with that. So yeah, please let us know, man. Thank you.
Yeah, just I just need you to ask me questions as we go because there's things that I don't even know how to give information on because
Okay.
I don't really
The lady, I
basically
got this.
in the beginning I went to the Church of Scientology and I started protesting there. I have this giant sign that says Scientology is basically treating babies and adults as babies and kids as adults. So I went there approximately 10 times to the Church of Scientology on the public property. And I did this for about, 10, 15 minutes each time. And then one time I went with Matt Bryce, who was another protester. and
And what was his
son.
What was his YouTube channel's name?
L. Ron
Xenu,
Liar 91
L. Ron.
for some fucking
Okay.
weird reason.
Well, because he's a liar. Why?
So I go with him. So he brings his kid to this protest. Okay, first of all, what the fuck, bro? He brings a kid to the protest. You know, the kid is like 3 feet tall. I don't know how old he is. And I'm just like, I want to get out of here. I want to go eat. I don't want to be here with protesting a child trafficking cult with this kid right here. I'd be saying shit to these Scientologists. I don't want this kid. I don't know. For me, it was not right. So I said, Matt, let's go hang out. You know, let's go chill, talk about Scientology. We decide that we're gonna go and eat lunch at some chicken place, and then we're gonna go check out this antique mall that is owned by Chad Lane and Stephanie Lane and Matthew Durian. I used to be in the Sea Org with Matthew Durian. So he was a child trafficking recruiter. He used to recruit a lot of children. And he got declared a suppressive person. Then he got back in good standing because the person that he was married to had a bunch of money, and he was able to get her to donate to the Church of Scientology, like big time. That was a way for him to get back in the flock. Anyways, we go to this antique mall, and we just went in there. We walked around, and it's like they sell trash there, I guess. Just like a bunch of trash on various tables. And I didn't find what I was looking for. I'm into making molds and stuff like with cement. And that's what I was going there for. I go to these places all the time, and it's not abnormal. Okay, we get inside this place, and the first person I see in there is Chad Lane, one of the leaders of the Church of Scientology in St. Louis. I recognize him, and I say, hey, Chad. And he's like, hey. And I keep going. Friendly, right? We walk around the whole store. Matt had his kid there. Matt is acting kind of psycho a little bit. He's like kind of jumping around inside the store, like, like, hey, yeah, man, these guys, they're child predators. We gotta maybe like do something, intimidate them or something. I'm like, no, we're gonna just leave. And so then we left, and then we didn't buy anything. Then business as usual. I don't really go back to the Church of Scientology St. Louis to protest for a long ass time because I got like dental surgery and all this shit. And they were pressuring me, these other protesters, they were pressuring me to go there because you're by yourself and this bullshit about how you have to be with other people. And I always felt like I didn't want to go to the St. Louis Church of Scientology because there's fucking no one there. There's no fucking staff. There's like 5 staff, and there's no public to speak of. And the one public they did have, I blew him off by telling him the secrets of Scientology. So I saved him like $500,000. Anyways, Matt says that he is goes to the church, and he says that he was given a citation or something for disturbing I don't know what the citation, some kind of disturbance. And so on this little group chat that we have, his wife Becky suggests that maybe I would go there like as solidarity, like, hey, we're gonna go there and just to support Matt despite him being given this citation for protesting.
Okay, hold on, stop. I got a couple questions.
Okay.
Someone just said that they remember seeing the antique store stream. Was that stream?
There was no stream. There was never a fucking stream of this antique store. There was me and Matt and his son took a selfie. That was it. It wasn't even in the antique store. It was at the chicken place we went to.
Okay. And then say the name of the guy that you said hi to. What was his name?
Chad Lane.
Leem, how do you spell that last name?
Lane.
Lane. Oh, Lane, like a lane.
Yeah.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and then what is the woman? Who is the lady? Was that the wife of him?
Yeah.
Yes.
I
Okay.
Okay, listen. I did not know Stephanie Lane. I never knew her. I'd never even
Okay.
seen her. I knew Chad, dude. I knew fucking Chad, okay? I
Okay.
gave him a rollback at the Church of Scientology, and it was regarding Out 2D, and it had to do with this chick, Rachel, what her fucking name is, who ended up killing herself. And
Okay. Okay. Okay.
when I got fucking
Okay.
ki- sent away from the Sea Org, they sent me to Steve Edison's home to live with. And Steve told me a whole bunch of stuff about the Church of Scientology in St. Louis because he was an SP
Mm.
too.
What is a rollback?
A rollback is a special confessional where you find out what someone believes is what their a negative impression or an idea of something and where that traces back to. You got to find out where that traces back to. It's a special kind of confessional. It's
Oh,
an
okay. Okay.
yeah.
It's an okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay, I hadn't even heard that this whole time. Okay, thank you. Sorry, I was just like clarifying. I was like lost on the rollback, and then his wife. That was his wife. This other chick.
Yeah, and she was apparently there at
Okay,
this
she was
antique mall.
at the, and she's also the head of the St. Louis org there.
Yes, because they have I don't know how to explain it without saying a bunch of words, but essentially it's like she's a high up leader as well. That's a good way of explaining it.
Okay, and I just want you to know, chat is so happy you are here. So I just want
Okay,
you
I
to know
can't. I'm
that.
not looking at the chat, but thank
Like just
you.
so that not that you care, f chat, but they are all happy that you're here and talking and hearing your side of the story. So I just wanted you to know. And also, have you ever seen the movie Animal House?
I saw it a long time ago, but I don't remember if I like it or not.
Okay. You look like the guy who came into the frat house on the motorcycle and did the with that mustache. So I love it. I don't
Oh
know if
yeah,
anyone knows what I'm talking
I'll have to
about,
go
but
Google
like,
it later.
okay, go on. I'm sorry.
So you're talking about Stephanie Lane. Stephanie Lane was in the antique mall, bro. I did not
Okay.
know they were working there. Like I knew they owned
Okay.
it,
Yeah.
okay, but I didn't know they fucking worked in there.
Yeah.
You know, and they have another
Yeah.
one too. Like how the
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems like a
And you just went
coincidence.
once. You just
It's a
went once.
coincidence that they were there. I thought they
Yeah.
worked at the church. I
Yeah.
had no idea they were going to be in there.
Well, just because they
Um,
own it and just because you go in, there's nothing wrong with that. If you went in numerous times, then it's an issue. But like with like restraining orders and everything, like it has to be repeatable. So that was
yeah,
like one time just going and there was no, yeah. Okay, go on. I'm sorry.
she is like a co-leader of the Church of Scientology in St. Louis. However,
Okay.
she has a lot of power because her husband Chad Lane, he is an excellent registrar, which is the person that scams everyone out of their money for Scientology.
Yep.
So those people have all the power because they're keeping it afloat. Boom.
Yep.
She owns this place with Matt Dorian. This is stuff you can find on the internet. You know,
Yep.
it wasn't like I had to hire a private investigator. I just literally Google Matt Dorian. Boom, there's his information. Because I knew that he was in St. Louis because when I was in the Sea Org and we got him declared, I was still in the Sea Org. I knew where he went, even though other people didn't, because I had that little confidential information. Anyways, I knew Matt Dorian. I had hoped that I would see Matt Dorian there. But of course, I knew probably he wasn't going to be there. I don't know. I would have loved to run into him, you know, and to unbrainwash him a little bit and try to see if I could get him to tell some of his child trafficking stories. Stephanie and Chad, they were in this store. There were other staff associates in the store as well. Like every store has this store has like fucking 75 booths in it. Booths. And in the booths, the people are selling their trash or whatever, their little trinkets and shit. Antiques. And they're not really antiques. It's like just a bunch of junk they're selling. And then so there's a bunch of people working there. It's not just these two. And I just recognized Chad from like the internet and having met him before once, because see, when I was in the Sea Org, I was one of the very few people who were trained on rollback. We're talking like 3 people out of 700 on the whole pack base could do this specific thing. I didn't work for Continental Liaison Office, which Chad was coming back to PAC to get this review thing. I didn't work for I worked for ASHO, which is the one with the lion in front. I worked for the public. I didn't work for fucking staff members like this dude. So they would get me to do these rollbacks, but I would do like trades with them. I say like, you have to audit this person that I need audited, and I'll do this rollback you need. Shit like that. So that's how I ended up doing this rollback on this dude. And is that all you want to know about that one situation in the antique mall?
No, I actually didn't even know about the antique mall. That was new information to me, so thank you. That's where it all kind of...
You're on mute.
Because I was like, oh. Can you hear me now? Yep. Yeah. No? Yeah. I could hear myself. Can you guys hear me?
You're on mute.
No, I got... Am I on mute, chat?
I can't hear you.
Yeah, hold on. One second.
All right. Well, I'll just keep talking while you figure that out. Basically...
No, they can hear me.
So Matt got this fucking citation from the stupid ass cops, and for being on a fucking public road, bro. He was out there publicly protesting Scientology. What's fucking wrong with that? And they're like, oh yeah, you're getting a fine because you're exercising your First Amendment. So then in the group chat, they're like, oh, you should go and like support Matt by just going there and silently, or just, they didn't say silently, they said just go there and like protest. Then one of the other ladies called me, she called me and she was encouraging me to just like go there and just like support Matt. And it was this lady that in the very beginning, when I first started deciding to protest St. Louis protest, she wanted to meet with me and at this Starbucks. And so I was like, fuck yeah, I'll meet you. Cause I wasn't scared of whoever Osa was going to send. And I suspected she was Osa, but also I knew she was possibly not Osa and just crazy. So I went and talked to her at the Starbucks, and she ended up trying to give me $200, which I put into an envelope and into a Ziploc. That's how much I thought, I wasn't sure about this person. Like maybe someday I could get, I don't know what I was thinking. But I met this lady at Starbucks, and she ends up encouraging me to protest and saying that this is the only way that we're doing anything effective about Scientology and stuff. I was already going to protest, but I was going to do it in my own way. She, after some phone calls and stuff, she really wanted me to connect her with Matt. And I talked to Matt and I told him, I don't think you should trust this lady. She seems unhinged. Don't take her advice. She's saying that we should go to these people, these Scientologists' businesses, and try to fucking protest at their business. And I was like, no, dude, that is a bad fucking idea, because we could, it doesn't seem like a good idea. I don't know why. It was my Scientology brain said, no, don't do that. And then I told Matt that, and then I just said, here, Matt, here's the information of this person's information. If you want to connect with her, go ahead. He does connect with her. Fast forward to when he gets a citation, she then calls me, encouraging me to go there. I didn't want to go there. I'll be honest with you. I was already afraid of the Church of Scientology for my own part, like my own reasons. But I also wasn't afraid of them because I just I thought like by me going there and protesting that did nothing. You know, it was like, what am I doing? Just telling a couple of wogs in their cars driving by that Scientology is a scam. I could do way more than that by canvassing the whole Church of Scientology area for all the churches and going around and telling them all that Scientology is a scam. You know, doing something like that. Anyways, I go back. So I decide I'm going to do this after work, and I text like 10 people. I'm going to the Church of Scientology to protest. And that's when I thought I'd talk with Matt about my idea, which was to trick the Church of Scientology that it was him that was there
Yeah.
protesting when it
Yeah.
really was me out there. And so
Yeah.
it would throw them for a loop and they would make a mistake. And then I could use that mistake to fuck them somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then he had already given me access to his to stream
Google
from my
account.
StreamYard to his
Yeah.
YouTube. And he had given me access for that earlier. We talked about it on the phone and all that. Then I go on there and
which can you hear me yet? Damn.
I go on there and
it's on your end.
Oh,
it's on your end.
He's signaling to me.
It's on your end.
It's on my end. Got you. Okay.
Yes.
That's weird. Okay.
Maybe
when you talk,
maybe
I'll just unmute it on my TV.
Okay.
All right. Let me do one thing here.
Maybe come back, leave, and come back in.
Is it still working?
Turn on the TV. Turn on the TV.
How about
Maybe
now?
leave and come back in. Maybe leave and come back in.
Oh, microphone. I can't
Maybe
hear
leave
anything
and come back
still.
in.
Should I go out and come back in?
Yes.
Okay. How do I even go out of this thing?
I'll put the link in the chat. I'll put the link back in the chat. Okay. I'm so glad he's here. This is amazing. I couldn't have asked for a more special person to show up today. There's the link. Oh, there he is.
Fucking thank God.
There you are.
Yeah. I can hear you now.
All right, cool. So I just want to ask a couple questions.
Yeah, let's go.
Elron Liar. His wife's YouTube channel was Xenu Free.
Yeah, Xenu Free.
Okay. Becky is her name. Correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, Becky. Okay. I don't like them. I think they're liars. I know they're liars. And because they went onto a stream with that bald-headed weird guy.
Oh yeah. I saw that. I saw parts of that stream. Actually, I recorded it with my phone.
Yep, and I have it recorded. It's actually in my video. That's never going to come out, but it's coming
Honestly,
out.
I don't like the fact that they lied too, but I feel sorry for them in a way. Like, I can't tell if they're just dupes, you know, or they're just they just got caught in this like fucking shitty situation and they didn't realize, because I told them up front, the Church of Scientology is going to attack you. You better, if you want to do this, you better fucking know they are going to do something to you.
Yeah.
Like you don't live this every day like I do. You know, at the Church of Science, you know, I have to live with it. I'll take their fucking beatings. But they, you know, they or were they hired as some kind of social engineering experiment? I have no idea.
I'm glad you said that. And you know what? I feel like that way about just about everyone involved in all this. It's hard to tell where OSA ops begin and dupes, or the dupes are.
Right.
And it's very confusing. And so I like to leave the options open and not really, because I just don't like them at all. Because I watch them lie about you, and so, but that's my opinion. And I've watched them kind of go with my trolls and lie about me too. But I watched them lie in that stream about you, and I watched Becky, Xenu Free, make up all these lies that you hacked into their computer and that they didn't know about it, and that was all not true. That was all like you were having conversation with them on the group chat, which I'm glad you shared that group chat with me, so I verified. I already knew that they were lying, but looking at the group chat and watching how it all played out, and then how they were trying to deliver it on that live stream, I was like, that's totally unfair. So
also, they said that I was like a Scientologist now. Like I'm a paid, paid by Scientology. Like, honestly, that's the stupidest. I would totally take Scientology's payout, but you know what? I double cross the shit out of them.
and I love that that it falls on deaf ears that they actually think that you're not trolling and you're not doing like a parody by saying that you're a Scientologist.
Oh, on the videos? Oh, on that other channel?
Yeah.
Oh my
like,
God. The Church of Scientology probably hates my guts so much right now. They're like, we're trying to ruin this guy and make him kill himself. And he's saying that he's a Scientologist now.
Yeah,
like, God damn it. Why is he saying he's a Scientologist? He's not a Scientologist. He's not a Scientologist. Like,
I think you should do more. I think you should do like commercials and like join Scientology and like be at like some weird places and like just like talking Scientology language. And like, I think at first I was like, what's he doing? And then I was like, oh my God, this is ingenious. So like, thank you. So I just thought that was perfect. And like, I don't know if you haven't really put anything else out on that channel, have you?
No, honestly, it's hard for me to get into the mindset, because what I have to do is sort of like, there's like a type of acting where you like become the character, and that's what I have to do for that. Is I have to get into the mindset of a Scientologist and then come up with the things. And there was a video I did one of the videos, I turned it on to private because it was so sarcastic that I realized that I wasn't really being a Scientologist. I was just making fun of it. And I didn't want to seem like I was making fun of it. I wanted to show people that this is what Scientology really is. They really believe these things. And look, I'm a Scientologist. That kind of thing.
Well, and I think I feel like I could talk like a Scientologist and everything, but then when I talk to you or hear you talking, I'm like, oh my God, like I can't even begin to like, we were using Auntie as like a translator for the like the hardcore Scientology talk. So like, yeah, thank you for just, I think it's funny. And I think it's funny that people have just been attacking you because, oh, look at him. He's just trying to be a Scientologist now.
Oh my God. They're so dumb. Those videos are not for those people, because they obviously they're too dense to figure out that I'm trolling the Church of Scientology. This is to mess with the Church of Scientology.
Yeah.
Like, you guys want to put restraining orders on me and make me seem like I'm a serial rapist and a murderer. Fine, then I'm a fucking Scientologist. And if I ever go to jail, I'm going up on that stand and I'm saying I'm a goddamn Scientologist, motherfuckers.
Oh my God, I love that, man. I love that so much. And all right, so let's a question this lady. Who was this lady? What did she go by? Because this lady sounds like she was a plant.
Look, dude, this chick has a lot of money. Okay. And I don't, and here's the thing. When I first met her, she told me that she was a Power Plus completion with the Church of Scientology. Now, what does that mean? That is a confidential series of actions that you have to receive. You pay for it. It's $12,000 for 5 hours of auditing. I asked her point blank, tell me a power process. That's how I test Scientologists to see if they're fucking with me, is I'll make them tell me something confidential. She couldn't do it. She would not tell me anything confidential. So I didn't trust her and I trusted her. Like it's like a weird thing I kind of doing. But
Yep.
she has a lot of money. She owns a bunch of properties. And one time she told me that a house inspector for the city failed her house, so she ruined his job. She got him fired, bro. She got him investigated, and then she went to his bosses and she basically did a whole black propaganda campaign on him, just like Scientology does. And this is just a regular, a WOG person in the WOG world, and she's doing this to this guy. So it is not beyond me. I don't want to. That's why I don't want to say her name. Because
Mhm.
I feel slightly like shit, man. Is she gonna do something? She has a lot of money.
Okay, and then so you went. They had agreed. L. Ron Lyer and his wife Xenu Free agreed, whatever. It doesn't even matter. They were cool with it. They weren't mad that you use the account to go to the Scientology building. So you show up at the Scientology building in St. Louis at the org, and you're just standing there.
I've got a giant fucking sign, and I'm standing 150 feet from the door, and there's like cars and trees, and there's not even anyone on service probably. Anyways, it's so pathetic in there. Then I am saying I see someone that I recognize, a Sea Org member, Crystal Apodaca, and I start talking about her. And she was a child recruited, and her whole family was child recruited, all children when they were in the Sea Org, like from 12 on up. And so I'm talking about that. And then I see some Scientologists near the church, that they're like 100 feet away. And I'm yelling the OT information. The body Thetans stuck to you. You need to do the OT levels to get them out of you, because that's really the telling people that is the only thing that's gonna fuck them up. Like it's gonna fuck their case up. And that's what suppressive persons do, according to L. Ron Hubbard, is they only restimulate. They never ease or erase. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. Is I'm gonna restimulate them, so they can realize that this is just basically repetitive bullshit to get floating needles.
What, Lewis? Like, why doesn't no one talk like you? You're like the only like I watch all the other ex-Scientologists, and no one goes into detail like you. Like, there's a reason why Scientology dead agented you, and it's you are so informative. I just want, like, you're such an
They've been
asset,
working on that since the beginning. They've been in as soon as you join staff there, they're working out how to dead agent you if you ever leave. So, and I got super trained in there, and I didn't even have to be on full-time study. I got super trained, and then I audited a fucking shit ton of people. And then it wasn't just in my org, because I told you about this trade thing that goes on. Well, that's how I ended up auditing Gavin Potter, that dude that's being sued or whatever. I am the only one ever to get him to confess to raping that chick. The way I did it was
really.
I told him
Jesus Christ.
we're in the session and I'm doing a confessional on him, and I say, I will not write down what you tell me. If you just tell me what you're thinking about right now, because he had a dirty needle on the meter, and um, that means that he's withholding something. And so it took me a long ass time to pressure him. Okay, come on, you can tell me, using all the tricks in the book. And I just said, I won't write it down. Other auditors have used this trick in the past, but I didn't know that. But I told him I won't write it down. And I also told him that the room was not being videoed, which means, but all the sessions that I was doing on him, they had to be recorded. Anyways, so I got him to tell me that he had sex with this underage girl. And what I did was I just made a notation, and then after the session I went back and read pen. That's what you're supposed to do on the worksheets, and I wrote down exactly what he told me. I turned it into the case supervisor, who's like the handler for the sessions. She reads the report. She then sends the folder with the write-up in it to the Office of Special Affairs, which is across the street, to the external, like it's called the external security chief. The external security chief, I kid you not, wrote on the on the report, statute of limitations, which means
Mm,
they don't care. They don't.
yep.
It doesn't
Jesus.
matter, and that I could just
All right.
continue auditing him. When I was like, no, this guy should be kicked the fuck out of here, and done something with.
Yeah. So hold on. Let me
Yeah,
just
I know I
get the
went on a
chat.
tangent there.
No. God, Lewis, I didn't think you were. I didn't. Wow. Just wow. The chat's like wow. But what I want to say is Gavin Potter. If anyone's aware of what's going on with the Gavin Potter, this is one of the cases in downtown LA going on right now, and this is where like we came up like with a child brides thing because, yeah, but so that case is going on right now. There was all this stuff with the attorney here. Gavin Potter, David Miscavige, and CSI are being sued by Jane Doe for an underage marriage and recruit and a few more things. She was 14 or 16, I believe. Gavin recruited her to marry him. And someone in chat just asked, did that go to Mike Rinder?
Here's what I say. I fucking only worked in a public org, guys. I was at the bottom of the totem pole. So I just delivered services. But because I had done all this special training and shit, people needed me to do things. And that's how I would get this information. So
you're like kind of like
l-
a specialized hypnotherapist contractor.
yeah, I guess you could call it that. I wouldn't call it hypnosis because this shit doesn't work, but it's good for if you believe that the e-meter works, I can get you to tell me anything.
Well, okay. Oh God, I'm glad you said that because I've had a lot of discussions about the e-meter, which is a monograph, where a polygraph is two inputs, where the cans are just one input. And what you just said, I believe, is also because a lot of police departments require those to do a polygraph, and it is a belief system, not necessarily actual science behind it. So thank you for bringing that up, and go ahead. I'm sorry. Continue.
The FBI
Hold on.
The
I got one more
FBI
question.
should hire me to teach them how to use the e-meter.
Well, someone's asking a joke here. Does he still use cans? Real talk, because they get addicted to the needle float.
What's the question?
It's a joke.
Oh, here
She
it is.
says,
Does still use cans? Yeah, so it is an addiction. The needle floating is the addiction, and Every single
Mm.
session has to end in a floating needle. I was actually thinking about this recently. There should be a whole channel about floating needles because every time you handle an engram, you get a floating needle. When you handle a body thetan, when you telepathically communicate to a body thetan and the body thetan goes away and gets their own body, you get a floating needle. So you're always going for this floating needle. So it is a joke, but it's also true.
Hmm. Interesting. And has anyone from the Gavin Potter, does anyone even know about that? Like, has anyone tried to reach out with you on the Gavin Potter thing? Would you
There was a
even be
time,
involved in it if you were?
I have no idea.
Okay.
There was a time, I mean, that's probably why I got dead agented so fast, because it was after that video, like 2 weeks later. Because I did a video on it, and then like 2 weeks later, and this was like within the first few weeks of my YouTube channel, I was just pumping out videos every single day because I had so much stuff on my mind. And one of the videos was Gavin Potter. And within 2 weeks of that, I had a fair game incident happen to me.
Mm.
So I don't know
Mm.
if it's connected or not, but I'm sure that it is.
Fascinating. Oh, and I'm sorry, I got so many questions, man. Like, I just like want to pick your brain on everything because I was so fascinated with Shannon's interview with you, listening to you describing everything. And Shannon was part of some spin-off Scientology execs that started their own little thing. What was that called?
Oh, you call it like Landmark
Landmark. Yes.
or EST, Earnhardt Seminar Training, EST?
No, it was Landmark because she was
Okay.
involved with Landmark because you
So
had
here's the thing, dude. L. Ron Hubbard is a fucking narcissistic egomaniac.
Darbo.
He fucking said that Landmark and EST are offshoots of Scientology. He said that. It's not that they actually are. He's just trying to take credit for what was in Landmark and EST because it's common sense. Everything he's saying, or a lot of it, is just fucking common sense.
Yep.
To solve a problem with two people, you need to communicate. Oh my God, I'm a Scientologist. I'm going clear because I know this datum. But that's in Landmark. And so he says, oh, Landmark stole our shit from us. So
Wow.
she may have done Landmark or whatever. That may or may not mean anything.
Mm.
Here's what, when I talked to her, she had the way she talked about Scientology, or she used words, and they weren't Scientology words, but they're words that L. Ron Hubbard used to describe Scientology and talk about Scientology. And so it made me wonder if she had maybe done some Scientology, or maybe she's an old OT or
Yep.
something.
That's
But
what I was
then
like suspecting.
she would ask me the fucking dumbest questions that I thought maybe she has no idea about Scientology because she's so stupid. Or maybe because a lot of Scientologists don't even understand Scientology fully, especially Sea Org members. For example, Jennifer Bubke never even gotten through Dianetics. She's never even gotten through all the basics. She doesn't even understand Scientology. Odo Huber,
Mm.
when he was in the course rooms, I used to supervise him on his courses. He would just fall asleep all the time. That's all he did on course, is fall asleep. Do you think he
Interesting.
understands Scientology? No. He's just groomed. He's groomed by his father. He's groomed by the Church of Scientology to believe all of this shit without actually fully understanding all of Scientology. And David Miscavige, when he came out with what's called the Basics Books and Lectures, he sold Scientology and these books and lectures to say to people, Scientologists, you don't understand Scientology, you have to do these books and lectures to understand them. And then people would buy them for that reason. But a majority of people did not get through them, or don't
Mm.
really understand Scientology. don't know where I went off with that one, bro. You gonna ask me the question again.
Yeah, Odo is involved with both my felony case and my misdemeanor cases. He is one of the witnesses against me in both misdemeanor and felony cases.
So I shouldn't be saying anything about him?
No, that's fine. That's fine. No, it's okay. Let's get back to the St. Louis day, and let's finish that up because this is man. Thank you for coming up. I'm loving.
The St. Louis day. I'm screaming and yelling to these people about the OT materials, the confidential materials, you know, to mess with their heads. And then I'm trying to remember. Yeah, so I see I see a car pull up, a non-police car pull up. And that's when I first started to realize maybe I should get the fuck out of here. And then I saw two police cars pull up, and I was like, I'm getting out of here. So I started walking away, and I had a headphone thing in my ear because it was playing Ace of Base or something, like over and over on a loop. And then a rhythm of a dancer. I was playing that on a loop, and then I was walking away, and then I crossed the street. So that's my thing. Anytime I see police or whatever, I just go across the street or I go somewhere else until, you know,
smart.
I feel like it's safe.
Yep.
I go there. They stop me. Do you want me to go through all that shit? Because it's in the video.
Well, yeah, you know, like because I could go through. I could tell them like basically you cross the street and then all of a sudden they're saying that you're trying to escape from them and running. And
yeah,
and then they stop you and then they arrest you for obstruction.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they said. Is that correct?
They arrested me for non-compliance, I guess, because I said no to the big fat guy who was running at me.
Yep.
You know, there's three people with fucking guns, you know, and they're like coming at me. It scared the shit out of me.
And they hadn't told you to stop or anything. And when they did tell you stop, you stopped.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm
and
not
the guy
sure if
said,
everyone...
He's like, I'm going to pat you down. And he was already like super close to me. It scared me. And I was like, no. And he was like, oh, you're under arrest. You know, boom. And then I'm like, but really?
But this is why...
Then, dude, they put me in handcuffs and they shut my phone off or whatever. And they're taking me across the street. Oh man, I wish somebody was there recording it. But there was traffic and they were all stopped. There was like a bunch of cars. And this is a whole scene. I'm screaming at the top of my lungs, Scientology is a cult. Scientology is a scam. And that's when you see the picture of the cops with like my sign and I'm being arrested. So freaking awesome. I thought it was like a greatest picture. Because I didn't even take that picture, dude. Stephanie Lane took it.
See, like, Lewis, a lot of people haven't seen this video. Like, you were so dead agented. Like, all this information is just not out there. Like,
oh, damn. Yeah.
Yeah, and because it took me a long time to figure out what actually happened. But you weren't charged, or you were charged with what were you? And what did they? Okay, first off,
at first they said I was disturbing a house of worship. That's what they slapped me with.
I've got two of those 302 PC in California.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did it change to?
It changed to disturbing the peace.
Okay, that's what I'm facing right now.
Failure to comply.
Okay, which was the obstruction. Alleged obstruction.
I don't know. Is that what it counts as? Obstruction?
Yeah, basically failure to comply and obstruction are pretty much one and the same. I actually have an obstruction arrest in West Virginia. A couple weeks before the video we watched, I got arrested for obstruction. And so yeah, so it's taken me a long time, and now you're giving me more information that I didn't know. And
Yeah,
what was
they
the
gave me failure.
this is I got you just a light bulb just went on in my head. What day was that? What was the actual date of that arrest? Do you know
It
offhand?
was either June 10th or June 11th.
All right, legal team, please check June 10th or June 11th. We are going to FOIA request a body cam of
Oh
that
yeah,
police
that was.
department.
I was wondering about how I could get that because that was my
I'm
plan.
gonna fucking get it, Lewis. I'm gonna fucking get it. I got it. It's out in the universe now. We're gonna get this motherfucker. We're gonna get that body cam. We're gonna get the police report. We're gonna get all of it.
The police report, dude. I got the police report later, and then she fucking lied in it like big time. Of course, I'm not surprised though. Cops lie all the time. She said that I got out of the car that parked at the church. The police said that. How the fuck was I disturbing a house of worship if I was in the car?
Yeah,
It doesn't make any sense.
this is Lewis. This is something that has been twisted and turned around all over the place. That like you, I'm so glad you came up here just to clarify all this because there was so much like dead agenting and black PR on you that and it went from black PR and dead agenting to what is it, gray rocking? Is that a science
Sorry, you froze for
term?
me.
Gray rock, where they
Oh, you're
just don't
back.
talk about you. Gray rocking, is that a Scientology term?
Gray rocking? No, never heard of that term. Maybe it's another
Okay, that's
term.
yeah. It's just basically where no one talks about you. They stay completely radio
Oh.
silent, and so your whole arrest was so confusing. It was months and months and months before I figured out what had actually happened because it was so confusing.
Yeah.
Because everyone believed that you got arrested because of Elron Lyre's stream. That's what I believe for months and months and months.
Oh, damn. Yeah, nah. They just arrested me because they didn't like me being there. So here's the real problem. The church across the street is safe pointed by the Church of Scientology, and the church across the street is a Jewish temple. And the Jewish temple, guess what? They have a cop outside their door all the time. So I think they just didn't want people protesting there, like, or I don't know.
No, Lewis, don't underestimate your worth and how dangerous you are, man. They wanted you out of there because of what you know, because you talk like no other Scientologist. There is not a Scientologist out there that talks like you. You are so informative. That is why they did it. Period. End of story. That's my opinion, at least. Not to blow smoke up your ass, but it's the truth.
Where are we at now?
So they arrested you. They brought you across the street. This lady who said that you're stalking her takes a picture of you.
That didn't even happen yet, bro. That happened like 9 days later. Oh, but so then like 9 days later or something, like the 19th was like a Friday. Nora calls me at work and she's like, is it true that you would have said in response to this dick pic that would you have said this thing? And she read me this reply and I was like, no way, I would never say that. And I've never done anything like that. It's crazy. And so that was when she called me. And then Miriam Francis called me as well. And she was like asking me about she was like, I have something very serious to ask you. I was like, well, you need to talk to Nora because like I'm sitting here, I'm at fucking work. You guys should just talk to each other or whatever. Apparently she did. And then she blocked me on Facebook.
Miriam Francis.
She didn't even talk to me. Dude, she didn't even talk to me. She didn't even ask me anything. She just instant block. It was like all this time, and she like also Matt and Becky, they didn't have the balls. Why didn't they just fucking ask me? You know,
Well,
I could have just
no,
resolved it right there in front of them. I could have showed them
yeah.
my phone. I would have showed them my fucking phone, bro, and been like, this is bullshit. I'll show you evidence. And no, they didn't say anything. They were just, oh, he's this, that, oh, we blah, 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 you know, and then back in this whole thing. That all happened 9 days later, right when I needed money to get a lawyer. Right when I
Yep.
needed money, dude. And I'm poor. I couldn't afford a lawyer. I thought people would have my back, like, and stuff. And no, it was like instant cutoff. And so I was alone, and I had to just be like, okay, I just got to deal with this myself. I'm not going to be talking to anybody or nothing. I've got to, deal with, I've got to be my own lawyer. I got to learn how to be a fucking lawyer now, because I didn't have enough money to fight all this shit. If I had had money for a lawyer, I would not have gotten that restraining order, guarantee you, because that judge was not going to give the restraining order because he heard their side. And then he was like, I don't see anything. He said that. I don't see anything here that requires a restraining order. And then because I'm a fucking dumb moron and don't know the law, gave my side of the story. And that gave and I didn't have to. I didn't have to in a court of law, because he even told me you have the right to remain silent here because you've been charged with this thing, with the disturbing the peace thing. And then so I told my side of the story, and that's when her two lawyers, started nitpicking the shit out of my stuff. They even went so far as to say, oh, do you mean the antique mall? And they kept saying the, like with all this emphasis. And I was like, yeah, the antique mall, the one we are talking about, the one. And so they made it seem like, that anyways, we can get to that part, the restraining order part.
God damn, I love this. Thank you for coming up and doing this, Lewis. Thank you.
I don't remember where I'm at now. I went all the way forward, but back to Nora. They cut me off.
Is what you're
they
doing.
cut my money off, right?
Yeah.
I had people, dude. I had $1,500 in like 2 hours, and that paid for part of a lawyer for the misdemeanor charge. That paid $1,500, paid for that. I could have probably gotten a way better lawyer too. And then I didn't have any money for the restraining order lawyer. I know. And if I had the money, I would have paid for it, but I didn't have the money. So that's what it came down to, was money. It's fucking money, guys.
No, I know. Money, and it's so, like, the lawyer thing without money, it's like you're just
yeah. But the Church of Scientology, they're so smart. They are just putting you in situations where they waste your money. They're just trying to waste away the funds of the fans.
Eat it. They just eat it up.
For example, Nancy Drew, Boobgate, that whole bullshit. Dude, think about how many thousands of dollars went into that. I bet she's just a fucking plant that planned all of that shit to suck the money out of the fans.
Hold on, Lewis. I got a real tough question for you. You ready for it?
Okay.
Did you flash your chest at Nance Drew on a camera?
No.
You know that's what she said, right?
I know that she said in one of her posts that she was a victim of me, but I didn't know the specifics of what she said, because the only time I ever talked to her was on text, and she was asking me for advice. Oh, we were in like a group chat. Her and Korn were in a group chat, and we're talking about whether or not they should go to this hotel and protest Scientology, because they were doing like a seminar thing. And I told them, don't go. Do not go to this hotel, because it is a setup.
Chrissy for Cass Newton says, "Yep, I fell for her lies." How many? I'm going to ask the chat right now. How many in the chat fell for the lies, or did you guys fall for the lies? Did you not believe them? I'm curious to get a read on chat right now.
Scientology is just smart, dude. They're trying to drain money. They know
Yeah,
it's
but
about money because they know they can get you in court because they
yeah,
can endlessly tie you up in court. That's their whole fucking thing. They even talk about it in the IS events when they got the religious recognition. They just blackmailed the IRS agents. Dude, they said this out loud. They blackmailed the Scientology and then they just filed 1 million lawsuits about the IRS, and that's how they got the recognition. Because this is like their mode, their MO. So I wasn't kind of expecting that, but I also wasn't expecting to be backstabbed by, fucking bitch face and her
that's
posse.
the mod mafia.
Yeah, the social engineer crew.
It's it's so disgusting how they are. And this person says, I felt bad for her and I was a sucker thinking she was protesting and they never did. I gave quite a bit. I am a sucker. And so yeah, she told, because I asked Pearl, I was like, I don't believe any of these people. The very first time I watched Shannon and Mandy and then Nance Drew came up, I was like, I don't believe any of them. All three of them, what they just said is there's no crime in anything that any of them said. All of them are saying they're victims. And so I called Pearl and I said, like, how is Nance Drew? No one's sleeping. No one wants to sleep with Nance Drew. God. And
okay, but at the time, Pearl needed money, bro, for her lawyer because she had gotten a restraining order. And so I think she needed money. I don't know if you remember, but around the same time, she needed money. So that was a huge indicator.
Well, we're in the process of FOIA requesting all of her court papers because all of a sudden, all of her stuff kind of went away. She said she had all this discovery, and then all of a sudden she had a job with the state. And so there's a super questionable, and she is saying that she never accused you of rape. I was like, you're such a liar. I heard it. I listened on the phone. I heard it. I called because I was like, I don't believe this. And she was like, no. And his girlfriend's daughter is in danger too.
Right. Yeah, that really pissed my girlfriend off. That really pissed me off of too. But the fucking Pearl Snappy, yeah, she went on the YouTube and she said the things she said about me, and she said it was definitely true. It's so true. And I was like, oh yeah? Well, have you heard of something called GPS? You fucking bitch. And then she's like, oh, well, you don't always have a phone when you're getting raped or whatever. And I'm like, oh, I mean, come on, bro. You can just poke so many holes in your stupid fucking lie. Like, I don't understand why she was even backing it until I realized that she needed money. She needed money for her lawyer. So I don't think that came from Scientology necessarily, but it could have come from one of my own enemies, such as this Psycho Osa lady who was the ex-Scientologist. And it could have come from her. I'm not really sure. I'm just speculating because there's just so much information.
Well, here, let me say this. What do you think about selfless?
Selfless self?
Yes.
I think that I noticed that he disappeared, and now I hear his voice like on a whole bunch of videos on YouTube. And I think that's weird. I don't know. That's the only thing I know.
Do you know his origin story, where he came from?
All I know is what you said about the abuse that he gave his wife. That's all I know.
Yeah, well, yeah, he was picked up and charged with strangling his wife, and there was some type of ordered mental services or something that he had to do, I believe is exactly what happened. But he said that he had this like trap house, like skater rock band house in Boston, and that they were letting 2 homeless people live at his house. And then one day they were gone, and they called him and said, hey, we're we're trapped. They're not letting us go. And he's like, oh, you're trapped. I'll come and get you. And so he's like, I knew exactly where they were. They went to go watch a video and they weren't letting them leave, and the doors were locked. And so they called him, and he went. He's like, I know exactly. And they didn't tell him where he was, but he knew. And it was the Boston org. And he went to the Boston org, and he went inside, and he grabbed them and saved them from the Scientology videos. So that is Oliver's.
He's a superhero.
He is a superhero, and there might be a superhero day for him. And he knew, and these homeless people had a phone and knew to call him and everything.
Wow.
And so, but this is what's interesting, that him and Shannon were real close when he went to Chicago, and they all did a panel with Karen.
Who's Karen?
Karen, what is it? What did you call her?
Who the fuck is Karen?
Karen Delaclaire or whatever.
Oh, that chick. Yeah. The Money Project lady.
Yeah, like here, I got a good question. Me and some of the people are starting to think that independent Scientology has a whole lot more of a hold on a lot of what's going on. What would you say to that statement?
Whoever has the money is where it's coming from. It's just like follow the money, I think. So like the selfless self thing, like I remember when he was saying shit about me too, you know.
Oh yeah.
And
he's been the author.
What? And he's like, oh yeah, Lewis is disgusting and all this crap, and he's saying stuff, and he doesn't know me. And then he needed money too. Like he had gotten hit with a restraining order.
Allegedly.
So there's the allegedly.
At this point, we don't know. Like,
allegedly, I thought they said that he did. I thought he said he did.
They most definitely said it, but because they said it doesn't mean that it's true. And gotcha. that's where it's like, and Mitch, they were with Dodge and Mitch Brisker. And so I'm not saying that it's not true, but what I'm saying is, and we're in the process of FOIA requesting Austin and those records. So we're on it. I worked on it earlier this morning. That was actually one of the first things I did this morning was we're trying to get all those records to just verify and see what's going on with that.
The independent people, I have no idea. I've never really talked to anyone who's a independent person that I know of. I will say that the power of Scientology, it really affects you. It really affects me. And if you believe in it still, it can really make you follow Scientology to a T. So I wouldn't put it past anyone in Scientology to just do OSA tactics all day. And OSA tactics, for anyone who's listening, is covered on a public course, actually. It's called the PTSSP course. And in there, it says how to handle suppressive persons. There's like a whole bunch of steps, and they're all lined out, and you do drills to memorize all of the steps and procedures for this. And you do clay demonstrations until it's part of you, and you feel like this is so innate to you now that you can just do it without thinking. All of this kind of thing. It's all covered on this public course. That's what OSA tactics are, this public course. Back to you.
There was something that you had said in one of Shannon's interview that like really like stuck with me. And she asked you about do you have a normal life or something along those lines? And you responded and said, I'm not sure if I know what normal is. And I don't know, that one like statement that you made was real powerful to me of interacting and dealing with ex-Scientologists, because like it seems that there is no actual like deprogramming that there's these foundations that really are just kind of there to give money to Scientologists and then to try to control them once they leave Scientology. But there's actually no like deprogramming where you like really heal yourself from kind of the MK Ultra brainwashing of Scientology.
Here's what I've realized. Here's what I've realized is that I always wanted to change my Scientology-ness, you know, but for me, it's impossible. I feel like it's impossible to change the way I think about things because I did grew up with it. That's how I looked at the world. And it's very hard for me to not use Scientology. Even right now, I'm clearly communicating. I'm keeping my TR0 in. I'm delivering communication with my TR1. And I am, that's all Scientology. And then, so do I think like, what I've done to get out of Scientology, because when I left the Sea organization, I wanted to go back. I wanted to go back into Scientology, and I was doing my 8 E steps. So I told my parents that I was doing it, and that I wanted to come back, and I really was doing it. But I had to convince myself. It wasn't until I started to do about like 4 years later, I started to I saw a doctor and I got a medical marijuana card. And what that did for me was it made me able to view myself and how I was thinking things from a different viewpoint that I had never had before. It was like it moved me outside of myself, and I could look at things in a new way. Then it was so slow, and even now I'm still finding that I'm still doing things that are automatic. For example, controlling people's mood, you know? There's all kinds of techniques to change the other person's mood by doing things yourself, like the way you communicate. It's so natural for me to do it that I find that I'm just sometimes doing it. And then even the way that I'm going about this Scientology thing, like exposing Scientology, that's all Scientology. I learned that from them. You expose them, you dead agent them, you fill the vacuum of information with factual information. You find the source and you dead agent that. You go after. It's an offense, you know. So girlfriends and ex-girlfriends of mine have always told me that I don't have to do that I don't have to follow the Scientology way. But it's hard for me not to. It's hard for me not to feel to do the things that when I do them, it makes me feel good. It makes me feel at cause, I call it. So I'm feeling like I'm being suppressed by the Church of Scientology. So my training tells me that I need to do something in the physical universe against them in order for me to feel good and at cause, they call it in Scientology. You're at cause, that means you're not effective a situation. So all those things actually sound a lot like common sense. So there is like oh shit, this is just common sense. So when I see WOGs or other people acting, doing things that I would do, I go, oh shit, that's not a Scientologist. That person's not OT, you know, yet they're able to handle their environment. When I see that, I go, yeah, I'm not bad. I'm not bad. It's just common sense. He's making the science. L. Ron Hubbard has twisted the common sense into steps to control people and put them into this beingness of a true Scientologist in the way that he wants them to be that way. And so I just getting caught in this situations. I hope that answers it.
Oh God, dude, that was effing amazing, and gosh, that was so amazing. And thank you for like, I'm just so great. The chat, like, I hope you go back and watch the chat after all this, Lewis, and just really see what people are saying. I think you are such an asset. And I want to just share my change of life, because when I smoked weed the first time, it changed my life too.
Oh
And
yeah.
I was, oh yeah, I was 17, and I was a straight edge. I was like football. I was one of the captains. I did all the weightlifting classes. I led weightlifting, and I was
Yeah.
just a straight edge. And I fell in love with this girl Maria at Walmart, and
Oh.
I went on my first date ever with her, and it wasn't a date. It was her taking me out with her boyfriend, and I ended up smoking weed with them, and
Oh.
it was like 4 hours of being like in a super uncomfortable position, but like the next day, like it changed my life. Like it changed. I thought people were looking at me different, and like everything changed in my life from that day on. Like I saw the world in a different place. So even as a non-Scientologist, having smoked that the one time was just like it was just a life-changing event of just opening myself to a different world, really. So it's interesting you saying pretty much the same thing. And
Yeah, and I exactly, dude. That is so true. Like, but it took a long time for me to figure out the weed thing because at first I got it off the street and I didn't know what I was smoking exactly. So, cuz I had no idea, I just was asking like anyone I knew like could I get some weed, and they hooked me up with somebody. And then then over the years I figured out how to find good stuff, like at the store and like all these different, because I hear a lot of people saying, "Oh, I don't like weed because it makes you like serious panic and anxiety and all this stuff." But you can find weed that doesn't give you that, and just gives you the enlightenment.
yeah, um, geez, I got so many questions for you. The um, I'm glad you touched on that. Mrs. J. I'm going back to Mrs. J because she's one of the biggest people who's been like just hardcore dead agenting you and using her hatred of Aaron, which is, I believe, righteous, but also to dead agent you. And they keep trying to spin this narrative that you've used Scientology auditing skills to take advantage of people. How would you respond to that?
I'd say I don't know of anyone that I've taken advantage of. I use auditing skills in my life every day. Okay. All auditing skills is listening to people and acknowledging. That's it. There's no here's the fucked up part of it is like when children are then using auditing skills on adults in order to listen and acknowledge sexual things and masturbation and all of this kind of thing. And then auditing skills, you're using auditing skills on me. You're asking me questions. You're putting me on the spot. You're kind of saying things, you're asking, you're varying the question slightly when I need it. That's auditing skills. So I'm not sure what exactly they mean by using my auditing skills. Do they even know what auditing skills are? Because there are a ton of auditing skills, and most of them have to do with the e-meter, meaning you're using the e-meter to get people to tell you their withholds. Outside of the e-meter, you're doing objectives. And objectives is just you look at that wall, thank you. You touch that wall, thank you. You walk over to that wall, thank you. Turn around, thank you. You look at that wall, thank you. You walk over to that wall, thank you. You touch that wall. And then over and over. And you're just doing repetitive commands for 5 hours. And the person that's getting this goes through all kinds of states until they have a floating needle. Other auditing skills would be indicators. So recognizing when a person's eyes are popped, recognizing when people's skin change in their face, recognizing, and then how to respond to those things while it's happening inside the session. So when
Oh,
you're auditing a person, and let's say that they have a floating needle, but their eyes are looking down and their skin is ashen, you do not indicate a floating needle. You ask them for an upset in their life that they've had for many months. So that is a Scientology skill. Then there's a whole bunch of like Scientology skills that have to do with finding fixed conditions within people. For example, you would ask somebody who are what mental image picture are you using to dominate other people? And then they would list out 5 different things. Oh, women are all bad. I am the king of all men. Men can all suck my dick. Those 3 things. Then I assess on the e-meter using my auditor skills. I read out those items back to the person, and then I look on the e-meter, and whatever one has the largest movement of the needle, I say, this is your item. And then I take that item and I put it inside a series of commands in order to desensitize that facsimile. So if the facsimile is all men are assholes, and we say, recall a time when you used all men are assholes to dominate others, and then the person answers that and desensitizes that image, that facsimile, then that gives them relief. So am I using that in the real world? I have no idea, but I'm not asking those questions. I'm not giving people confessionals necessarily. However, I will say that I have upset people in the past by being too nosy and having I question people. It's almost on automatic. Okay, so
welcome
what,
to
like
my club.
one time somebody was next to me, and I asked them a question, is this person your boyfriend? They gave me a no answer, which is they're not answering the question. And so I instantly varied the question to something more direct. Are you having sex with that person? It just came out. And then the person was like totally offended, but they answered the question and then they were totally offended that I would even be asking that question. And then later I realized that it's so automatic to ask these questions that I upset people. That's how I upset people. I have upset several people by doing that. I try to suppress that by just listening and acknowledging. But then again, that's like another auditor tool. Like I'm not obviously giving confessionals to everyone that I ever listen to, but it does go into effect. And what is a confessional? All you're doing is you're finding a withhold. First of all, you say, "Have you ever killed a cat?" And then on that specific withhold, you just get all the details. How'd you do it? How long did it take? When was it? Is that all of that? How did you justify it? And who almost found out about this? You really have to put that into their mind. Who almost found out about this? And then they find all the points when other people almost found out about this time they killed their cat. And once they talk about that, they get a floating needle, and then the withhold is handled. And then you move on to the next thing. So am I using my Scientology skills in that way? No, I'm not actually auditing anyone. I'm not asking anyone about their case. A case is when someone's all their feelings, thoughts, past lives, everything, that's considered their case. When you're auditing, you're only talking about their case. So I've learned now being out of in the WOG world that you're not supposed to go asking people about their case. There's something called manners, and I didn't have that for a few years, maybe 5 years, 6 years, where it was just automatic where I'd question people. And it was like I had no button on asking anyone anything because I had done so many drills where I'd been sent out into the WOG world to do these, they call them tone scale drills. And what you're doing is you're just trying to flatten your button to asking anyone anything. And so that when you go in session as an auditor, you can just ask the right next question to get whatever. Hope that answers that.
Jesus, I mean, I don't feel like there's enough time in the day here to really harvest what you have in that brain of yours, Lewis. I got a couple questions.
Yeah.
One, child auditing, locked rooms. Were there locked rooms?
Everyone's locked in, dude. And the thing
Everyone's
is,
locked in.
the door is behind the auditor. And L. Ron Hubbard says that. He says, according to model session, the pre-clear is on the side where the door is not. And the auditor has to be in front of the door so that he can prevent the pre-clear from running away.
And have what are like the youngest children that are being audited in like just in like what how young are the children that are doing these audits?
They're doing the auditing as the auditor or receiving the auditing. So both answers.
Both. Yeah, both answers.
Well, for me it's from the beginning. So even in the womb, there's a pregnancy assist in the
What?
mom gets. Then when the baby's out, the first thing that they're getting, the type of auditing they're getting is touch assist, nerve assist. Okay. And then they're also getting these auditing where it's called where it's like you hit your knee on something and then you touch your knee to the thing over and over until the pain goes away.
Mm-hmm.
That's also a thing. So that's like early on. And then the study technology where they're teaching you about the 3 barriers to study, that's all auditing techniques. The thing is, it doesn't seem like it. Okay. It seems like you're just, when you're a kid, you're learning about looking up your words and understanding the words. But in Scientology, when you learn about this, you learn about a mechanism that's a Scientology mechanism, which is where you, it's called the second phenomenon. And it's where it describes anyone that leaves a subject has misunderstood words in that subject. So, like anyone that runs away from school or leaves school or is starting to commit overts in the area of school, it stems from misunderstood words. That's kind of auditing as well, I would say, because you're dealing with that person's mind, their case. Then, when I did a lot of overts and withholds writing up. So you write down all of your transgressions and things like that, and then you hand that in, and someone reads it. You're also doing,
which is like a confession. You're just confessing to crimes,
right? And you're
basically.
writing it down.
You're writing
it's the same
down.
thing as a confessional. It's the exact same thing. Yes.
Okay.
Exactly.
And then let me just hold you up for a second. So
okay,
there was a lot of heat when I first interviewed Alonzo. Okay. I don't know if you want to comment on this or not. If you don't feel comfortable with it, if you don't feel comfortable with anything, just let me know. I'm not trying to pry on you because I'm just generally just fascinated to your view on all this. There was a lot of pushback from Alonzo because he felt that his teachings of schooling was an abuse. And there was a lot of pushback from the crazy SPTV community that, he's evil and he's the worst person in the world and he's hurting children, and that he was auditing and he was grooming them. What is your thoughts on that?
Who is he grooming?
Children.
Where was it?
He was in Champaign? Was he in Champaign, Illinois?
So they're saying that he was doing this while he was in the Church of Scientology?
Yeah, he was like at the org. He was like doing classes with the kids. Basically, the words, all that stuff you just said about the words and everything. Peoria.
Oh yeah,
He was
word
a-
clearing?
He was a course supervisor for children.
I gotcha. I'd have an answer for this. One second.
Take your smoke. We're in no rush here. I think the chat's loving this. We're loving that you can't.
Did he groom children? In Scientology, whether he knew it or not, I don't know, because you have to ask him. But I can say, like, for me, I was 28. I was the staff section officer, and there were people being recruited into the Sea Org who were like 14 years old. And I was asked to do confessionals on them so that they could become qualified to move up to a higher organization called the Commodore's Messenger Organization. And so I would end up doing all these auditings on them with like 50 questions. And it basically asks them about their entire life history, which is something that you fill out when you enter the C organization, where you talk about all your connections and anything that you've ever done or happened to you, and including sexual things. So, did I think I was grooming these people? No, I don't think I groomed them. I audited them. I asked them these questions. Um, do I think that I groomed them? I think the whole process is got to be fucking grooming. Like the whole goddamn thing, dude. From the recruitment to the confessional, it's included in there, to the ethics program that you're doing, and then the drills that you're doing in order to be to be desensitized to all of this sexual stuff that goes on in the Sea Org, because all these children, they're working with adults in the Sea Org. Like I did that one short video about John Lundeen, how his assistant, and she was like 14, and she would bend over and stuff, and he'd be staring at her and everything. And another person reported that. I wasn't there, I didn't see it, but Andrea Butterworth, she's the one that reported that this was happening with John Lundeen. The whole thing, everything that is happening there, it's an adult environment, So going back to maybe this public side where he was at a mission or an org, and a mission or org is just a smaller version of Scientology services, and a very small version. So like his course room is probably a 10 by 10 foot room, and he probably had a couple tables in there, and he probably only had like 5 or 6 students. And I would know all these things because I used to travel around the USA and to each of the states and visit the smaller orgs such as St. Louis. I'd been there twice. I went inside their course rooms, and I would help the students, and then I'd help I'd help the students, and then I would help. Oh, it's just a cat. I would help the students, and I'd help the staff members. One second. Sorry. And I would I'd go around to these class. Now I got a good look at what all these missions and these class 5 orgs and what their public was like. And so I have a good idea of what was happening in the Peoria, Illinois org. It was probably just a piece of shit church, and there was probably like a couple public, and those were the ones with all the money. and then they probably had kids. And so, of course, you'd want to get their kids on course. And so you would get them, oh, yeah, come and do this communication course, you know? And the kids can do it while their parents are like in session. Is that part of the grooming? No, unless he had them in bull baiting situations. So there's another aspect to this where the children do these drills where they're bull baiting each other. Now, if you take a child and you start bull baiting the child about sex stuff, like that's obvious, that should be illegal. And I think that would be grooming. You're desensitizing the person to all of these sexual things by bull baiting them on that subject. So I think the whole experience is grooming. Did he specifically groom? No clue. But he was probably a supervisor, and a supervisor, all they're supposed to do is they're supposed to have their clipboard and they're supposed to get people to look up their misunderstood words, and they're supposed to oversee all the drills and make sure all the drills are being done properly. So a supervisor has limited power, um, versus where like you have like a situation like a recruiter who is gonna be, say, in a room with a child like 14 years old for 10 hours at a time, grilling them on how they need to join the SEAL organization because all of the planet is depending on that one child. And when your whole intention, as Gavin Potter in his situation, is just to have sex with this child, you know, I I think maybe there's like a gradient scale of this grooming, but the whole thing is grooming. I think everything is
Yeah.
grooming.
And so did you have any more contact with Gavin after he was labeled the statute of limitations? Was that your last interaction with Gavin?
No, I continued auditing him, and then they took me off his case. I don't remember why. I think I had too many pre-clear. Oh, I know what it was. He started having trouble on post, and a lot of times when these registrars, so he's a registrar, meaning he scams people out of money, like tens of thousands of dollars, and he's the one that gets them to donate for their services. That's his primary job, and so he started having trouble on post. Once he started having trouble on post, the Commodore's Messenger organization got involved, and then they were looking at his folder and seeing that I was his auditor, and they were like, "What the fuck? Why is Louis Repetto his auditor? He's just like a lower level org." Like I didn't have the confidential, because you have to sign all this confidential stuff in order to audit some certain people. I hadn't signed anything.
Like non-disclosure agreements, NDAs?
Yeah.
And another question. Oh man,
His wife was actually a celebrity. She's actually in the movie with Bruce Willis. Her name's Alexandria Potter. You could probably look her up and see her.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh,
Yeah.
here, this is a question. Let me see if I got this right. I can't believe how much information I've retained about Scientology in the last 2 years from really knowing nothing. Your second wife was auditing the Trish Duggar in Florida.
Oh, the
Is that
Duggins?
correct? The Duggins.
My second wife was auditing. No, she was a child auditor she would travel around with the Duggins or whatever, and she would audit the children.
And can you explain to chat what the Duggins, who the Duggins are?
Okay, yeah. Trish Duggan. Okay, at the time, she was actually off lines. She was like disaffected and didn't want to do Scientology when this was happening. And John Lundeen, he's the captain at ASHO, he convinced her to go in session. she ended up going to session with Damien Kevitt and on a whole bunch of confessionals, like false purpose rundown and stuff. And then she was getting some like care handlings. Like Jennifer Bubke was her master at arms, public master at arms as well. And then so she got recovered, and then she got on to Power. Paul Guthrie was auditing her. And because that was happening at my org, like my captain had recovered this lady. Because normally speaking, like these celebrities who have like millions of dollars, they are only allowed to be audited at the celebrity center. That way it's so in this situation, John Lundeen recovered Trish Duggan because she was off the bridge, and he recovered her onto the bridge and got her happy again. And then he sort of recovered her husband at the time, who I think is now ex-husband. And then they went to Flag, which is Florida, and they started doing more services. And while they were traveling around, that was when Leah Silva, that was my wife at the time, she ends up traveling with them and auditing all these different kids that they all had. Apparently, they had adopted a kid or some kids, and so she was auditing them. She told me that one of the kids was like crazy or something, and then they ended up sending the kid back after the adoption, something like that. She couldn't tell me much because of the confidentiality of like celebrities or whatever. My wife Leah then ends up being transferred to Celebrity Center because of this, and she's like only on celebrity lines now. So then
she's still Scientologist.
Leah, probably,
Yeah.
probably in the Sea Org still, yeah.
And just so chat, this person, Trish, right? Trish Duggan. Yeah, Trish Duggan was the largest donator to.
Oh yeah, sorry, my bad.
Ron DeSantis's CPAC, which is their political action, and she was the largest donator to Ron DeSantis.
I didn't know that. Damn.
Yes, and so I think that's a very important little dot to connect.
Oh shit, Trish is gonna come after me now. I just said a whole bunch of shit about her. Fuck.
She is a whale, and I just wanted to tie in some of the politics of this all because I do also believe that she was also involved in some of the other funding. I don't want to speak out of turn.
It's not her though. It's not her. They've brainwashed her. Here's what they do. I remember John Lundeen would do this all the time. Is they get her winning. They call it winning in session. Right after session, they have like 2 or 3 high-level people see her and say, "Hey, we have this situation, and we need you to donate to the IAS, or we need you to donate here, or donate there," and that's how they'd get you. Especially if you have a lot of money and you want to just like you want everyone to feel the way you do. Like you're winning in session. You're finally feeling like you're going to go free, and you're going to attain true immortality. And you want everyone to feel this because you love mankind. And so you have $500 million. So what would you do with it? Of course, you would try to get rid of psychiatry, and you would support these political candidates that Scientology has leverage over to get them to do things for them.
Man, this has been just so amazing. Would you take comments from chat or questions from chat?
Sure.
We'll do 15 more minutes. You cool with 15 more minutes?
I can go as long as you want.
Okay, I don't want to. I'm loving every minute of this. I've been like,
yeah. If you gotta go, bro, go.
No, I don't have to go anywhere. I don't want to take up your time. Okay, chat. Do you guys? Someone have a question, or would you care if someone came up and asked a question?
So the June 9th, after June 19th, that was when the money got sort of cut off by this little campaign against me. And then I got served with a restraining order. That was
Yes,
when I
and
got
that
that papers.
yeah, and the restraining order ended in September of last year, correct?
Restraining order ended, yeah, October,
Yeah,
I think. But
yeah,
basically I had to
and
stay, and man, the whole restraining order, I could have totally won. If I had a lawyer, she would have just
yeah,
said, don't say anything and you'll win. And I
yeah,
would have won, dude. And then
yeah,
they wouldn't have tripped me the fuck up with the and
yeah.
shit.
Well, and that's what they do. And
Yeah.
what I actually have a good question to ask. Now, Ron Lyer said that he saw you in court and didn't know why he was in court or why you were in court. And then he just was like, well, I'm not going to be around Lewis, so I'm just going to take the restraining order.
Oh, what a fucking idiot. He had another restraining order put on him. You know that? I didn't know
No, I
that until
didn't.
later. He has another one where he was going to a different church, some kind of cult he thought was a cult, and he was doing chalk on it and stuff. That person got a 500-foot restraining order on him before my restraining order was even approved. Like, authorized by the judge to be 20 feet away. And Matt just acquiesced to the two lawyers. The two lawyers put us separately in a room, and were like, "We want you to just sign this thing," And I was like, "So you can just come in here and fucking destroy my life because you think you're," I gave them shit, and then he just decided to take the restraining order. Why would he do that? Like, it has nothing to do with her. This has to do with Scientology. She's what? I've never met this person. He's never met this person. Like, what the fuck? How the fuck can they do that shit? It's like, and then so he just, and so, yeah, he made up this thing about how I was there. Yeah, I did see him there, you know? Um,
Yeah, he said the
but
judge was
he,
trying to put the cases together, and that scared him. And he's like, I don't want to be with that creep, so I just took the restraining order, which makes no sense at all to any normal person.
exactly. It makes no sense. You know what else doesn't make any sense? He got his the misdemeanor charge, disturbing the peace, like marked down to a traffic ticket, like within 1 week. And on me, the fucking people, they want to go full force all the way through, but they can't. They can give this fucking shitface who has 2 restraining orders, just free pass.
He's a loser. I'm sorry, man. He's a loser. I didn't really know much about him, but he's a loser, and the wife is a loser. And unfortunately, that's just what I think. Do you think that the ex-Scientologists that currently have channels are mad that Lewis is explaining all this to us? And if so, why would they be upset?
Which, sorry, like other channel, like Scientology themselves, like Scientology proper.
No, the ex-Scientology community.
Oh, ex Scientology community. Would they be mad if I'm explaining all of this stuff? I don't know. I don't give a fuck. Fuck them.
Why do
Shit on
you
their
think?
face.
Why? They're going to be like, oh, that's perverted.
Oh yeah.
uh, oh yeah. Birds means brain. Does Lewis know Shannon defamed another guy who had sued her? I haven't heard of that one. I know Mandy did, but yeah, I'm gonna bring up Auntie. She's really excited to be here. If that's
Sweet.
okay.
Sure.
Hello.
Hello.
We've emailed back and forth, Lewis.
Okay. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
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 Yeah, sorry, I never got back to
No,
you. I just was I was going through
don't
stuff.
apologize. Don't apologize. You don't owe me anything.
I know, it's just
This
like
is
I was
not a
going through
cult.
stuff, yeah.
I'm sorry you were going through stuff. I hope everything's okay.
How are you?
I'm good. Okay, so I have so many
Okay.
things to say. I'm so excited. Um, First of all, shout out to you for never giving up on you and never compromising who you were to try and fit into anything else. Because you easily could have come back during all of that shit and made a live stream like a lot of other creators have and made excuses and said crazy things and, sold your soul basically to become a part of a community that you may or may not have wanted. I feel really bad. Hold on. Oh no, wrong way. Sorry, I feel bad because you're like up here by yourself. I have my NASA shirt on, so I was like, let me let everyone see my face.
You're
Um,
good.
uh, so shout out to you for that, for staying true to yourself. The other thing, well, the first thing I want to ask is because what you said about Gavin Potter fucking fascinated me because obviously that's an active suit. So, in order to get married, they would have had to have a CSW, no? Both of them approved in order to go get married?
Yes, 100,000%. Especially with Gavin Potter because of the way that he was in the C word.
Yeah, they
He
were both at Bridge.
okay, but he was in the Sea Org maybe from a very young age. I believe he might have been groomed as well. And
Hmm.
so because he had connections with David Miscavige, anytime you have a connection with David Miscavige, everything has to be approved by David Miscavige's office relating to that
So
person.
that was my next question. Because
So CSW
I
had to
wanted to
go
make,
all the way up. One
that's what
time,
I was going to ask is how far up would it have had to go because of who Gavin Potter is?
it would have to go all the way up to the top. I don't know if David Miscavige had to approve it specifically, but a representative would definitely
I mean, the
have
top
to.
of Bridge would be in communication with David Miscavige, no?
Oh, the top of Bridge Publications is way lower than David Miscavige.
No, no, but I'm saying like the highest executive that would have been over Gavin, who was recruiting for Bridge,
Uh
which is
huh.
where this girl came from.
Mm-hmm.
So Gavin Potter would be like kind of up there on his recruiting and like whatever. And then from him, it would have gone up the ranks, no? And
Yeah,
so
everyone would
but the
they would have
highest
known about it.
executive,
So when you do like a CSW, it has to go through your senior. CSW for everyone's case completed staff work and it's situation data solution,
it's
and you have to
basically an application to do anything other than work,
correct. Well,
right? Like you have to do a
it's
CSW to take time
basically if you have an
off.
idea, you need to get this approved through this situation data solution, and it can be a post related thing as well. But
Yeah.
um personally, when I had to get married, the three times I got married, I had to write a CSW all the way up to my captain of my org. But when I married Bonnie Mason, because she had worked with Dave Miscavige, it had to be approved by Religious Technology Center in order for me to
Oh,
marry her. And that was just us. We're like 30 somethings. So Gavin Potter, for sure, way above Bridge Publications, had to be approved to marry this person.
that's just so crazy because that
Yeah.
means that every single person that went through knew
Yeah. Yes.
ahead of time. Ahead of time. Potentially, and I'm not saying that there wasn't like sex before marriage because we all know that rule only goes so far in the Sea Org. But everybody would have known that like as soon as they got married, it would have been statutory rape.
Yes. I mean, it would also have to be side checked. They call it side checking by Office of Special Affairs. So um, the
Which
CSW
means
channel,
Mike Rinder would have known.
Mike Rinder, I don't know
Hmm.
if he was. So the way that it works for PAC base, which is Pacific Area Command, which is
Yeah.
Okay. So the way that it works there is they have an internal OSA on the base, and they're called the CO OSA, captain
Right.
of OSA,
Okay.
and it has to be at least side checked by him for any. And the reason why they're side checking it is they're checking for any legal problems. So that's what they're
Right.
supposed to be checking
But
for.
that's crazy because then that still got approved and there was still a legal problem. But I mean, they always made everyone go to Vegas to avoid the psyche eval. So
And I wonder if they just deleted the records,
what do you mean
deleted
deleted
the
the records?
like deleted the CSW, deleted the information about her
So this
after.
was,
Hmm?
as far as I know, this was like kind of earlier 2000s.
I thought it was like mid 90s or something. I don't remember.
Yeah, like late mid 90s, early 2000s, because their marriage lasted for a few years.
Yeah, so yeah, the I'm thinking the Church of Scientology just erased the information, erased history. There's probably no paper that says anything about this. The reason why I think that is because one time I wrote a report and I mentioned the word Xenu in it in the computer because it was on an intranet. Incom, which is a computer security, they came to my office and they made me erase that report off there so that it didn't
Wow.
exist. So that's why I think there's some erasure going on.
Huh. What
Another
year
thing
was
is it
that? Do you
would be in
remember?
her pre-clear folder. All this information, if it still exists, would be in her pre-clear
in
folder.
in the Jane Doe's folder, yeah. Well,
Yeah.
I think there's only been like one person ever that was successful at either receiving
Yeah.
their PC folders or admitting them. But I don't think they've ever been admitted into court. I think they only just the person received them.
They actually got
There's
it
only,
admitted. It was the Danelovich. It was
there you go.
Emily
Uh
Diekman's sister, which is I don't remember her
Lauren
name.
Danelovich.
Oh, Laura Danelovich.
Yeah.
So
I don't
she
know
got
why I know all this stuff. You're gonna think I'm a Scientologist. Everybody else does too.
she was forced to get an abortion, and then it was like there was
That's right.
evidence in the folder of the fact that they were like talking about this forced abortion. And then she got it into the courtroom, and then it was like Scientology was like, "Oh yeah, we're gonna just settle this lawsuit quick." They ended up settling for millions or whatever.
Yeah, yeah. But she was the only person ever. That's so crazy. Do you see this question? How long do they keep the recordings auditing and security?
Some people actually steal the PC folders, so it's not actually entirely. I'm not advocating anyone do anything illegal, but some people in the past have stolen PC folders, and they're pretty easy to steal. They're right out in the open.
Okay,
They're
let's not
a lot of
incriminate
them are not
yourself.
locked
Calm
up.
down. Calm down. Don't incriminate yourself.
How long do they keep the recordings auditing and security? Um, well, we're talking about paper, then it's, you know, not forever, essentially, unless they like get rid of it, like, or, but if it's VHS, they sometimes they'll put the VHS one single session into a folder and then keep that one VHS tape. They don't keep all the VHS tapes, and now they're probably putting them on servers. And they probably don't save every session. I can't imagine that they would, and if they do, it seems like an awful lot of money.
Which they have. So I wouldn't put it
Not
past
really.
them.
In some situations, see, each org is different. Like your org.
But would that not go to CF? Central Files?
No, that would information would not go to central files for sure. No. But so like any like public pre-clear folder is paid for, kept track of, stored, and moved around by that one org.
By their org. Okay.
Yeah.
Until they, I guess, get high enough on the bridge to where it gets transferred to an org with higher
Actually,
level.
that org keeps that folder, and when they get onto the OT levels, a new set of folders are made. A new number is started. So the other ones are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then they start a new number, OT1, and
Interesting.
then 1, 2, 3, 4, and those are kept in the parking structure underground, in like
Right.
locked up security cameras, fucking.
Yeah, like it's the fucking Declaration of Independence or some shit. So dumb.
Yeah, seriously.
It makes me so mad because I'm like, oh, they're just so crazy. But um, what does this say? Let's see. The FBI files said the files, at least in the early 2000s, were kept on one of the floors of the Blue and also under the parking garage on Fountain. I imagine they have moved since. Well,
FBI files? I've never heard of FBI files, but if there were, they're probably deleted by now.
No, here I'm jumping back in because I
I
just
was
was
gonna
reading
say
it.
this is your time.
So here's another example of the deleting stuff. One of my friends, well, one of my junior right below me, his name was Michael Danelovich. He was groomed and since 9 years old in the Sea Org. He used to work directly for David Miscavige. And then he had a rock slam on the e-meter in regards to David Miscavige,
You're
which
gonna have
means
to
that,
explain that.
yeah, which means that you have a hidden evil intention related to the subject if you have a rock slam. So it's the
Ex-
slashing of the needle
yeah,
back and forth. It's
yeah.
like this. That indicates a hidden evil intention on the subject. And he was talking about David Miscavige. Therefore, he was then sent to the Rehabilitation Project Force to be reprogrammed to become a good Sea Org member again. Now, when he got to my org, which was like 10 years later, after working for David Miscavige and all of this,
What
I
org was
looked
that?
into his ASHO,
That was still Asho? Okay.
ASHO Day. I looked into his folder, and everything having to do with anything to do with David Miscavige was literally cut out of the paper. It's cut out of the paper, guys. It
Like
wasn't just marked
physically cut
over.
out?
Physically cut out. Like there was just absolutely zero information. So you know they're deleting shit.
That's actually insane.
Yeah.
Physically cut out of the paper. Evidence.
Yes.
Oh
I'm
Lord.
look I'm looking for that FBI file.
It, okay, so David wants this question answered. He said, does LR, which is you, Louis, does he have enough knowledge about your case, DOA's case, to offer an opinion on the extent of Scientology's role in the cases / charges?
Um uh
If you don't have enough knowledge on it, you can just say no.
okay. And it just seems like the same old tactics, with they did this to another guy, Gay Pope. He got a restraining order or something, and then he was moved away from the base. Like he couldn't come back for a long ass time. So the
I
way
think
they
you
did it
still
was,
can't go back.
I remember when what happened was like they would put people near him or like try to get them to bump into him or like things like that. So they were inserting themselves into situations or to trying to almost like just like the protests that are going on in like Minnesota with the all the different uh insertion techniques, protest techniques or something
Right?
to
Plants, ops, different
yeah,
people.
to
Yeah.
get people tripped up. I just remember that happening. It just seems like the same exact thing. It's just a horse. It's just different. Like the charges are different. Like the planners were like I see 2020 vision now, but they were so obviously a trap. When I went to the church and protested there in Los Angeles, on L. Ron Hubbard Way, they had like people walking around with their dogs, and those people would try to come near me, and I would always cross the street
Don't mention
before
the
they'd
dogs,
come near me.
DOA. DOA's
And
gonna
Um,
scream.
that was because instinctually I knew that Scientology was like sending these people out here to like do something. Like I didn't know what the fuck they were doing, but it seemed like they were, trying to interact with me or something. Shit like that. It's almost like I don't even know where they trained me on this kind of thing, but I instinctually would I recognize that they're doing things like by the book, by the L. Ron Hubbard playbook.
Well,
Um,
you got to
Go
give yourself
ahead.
some credit because you don't necessarily have to be trained when you're raised and working in an environment where these things are, acceptable and preferred. Of course you're going to pick up on things like that. Just like you said earlier, like you operate in Scientology and then have to translate to real world because that's your first language, that's your first culture, that's your first introduction to the world. So that will always be like there. And then it's on you, and you have to give yourself credit for being able to recognize those things in real life now. So cut yourself some slack, dude.
Yeah, the they just play tricks. So I don't have any advice for DOA other than I hope I win the lottery, and then I can give you like 100 grand and you can get a good lawyer, like Johnny Cochran or something.
I got the best lawyer.
I feel like you can still win.
I'm going to win. I'm going to win.
So
It's not a matter.
and also like even if you don't win, um the amount of like information that's just gonna come out from just fucking talking about this to actual logs, like the trial, and the judge, and this is all gonna be public record. That all of that is just like it's all part of exposing Scientology because you're doing it in the court
Well,
system now.
Wait, so are you
well,
saying that DOA's case does have something to do with Scientology? Is that what you're breaking news?
Breaking news.
according to Nora, it's not Scientology related.
Oh, really? That's what she said?
Yeah,
Not just Nora.
others too.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Quite
guess.
quite a
So
few of your ex-friends.
yeah, so I got two things here.
Yeah.
One thing is that the FBI investigation occurred in Los Angeles in 2009. Let me see. Was that 2009? Yes. 10/05 2009, and it was a criminal investigative unit, and it was a civil rights unit, and there's an interesting
Oh my God. Are
73
you
page.
serious? That was in
Yeah.
2009? Holy
Yes.
shit. That explains a lot. That explains a shit ton.
I was gonna
What
say
was
you were
what was
there.
going on within the Sea Org was a
Why?
massive change from what we were doing.
Mm.
What
So
was
like
going on? Because we were being abused.
up till that point or afterwards, or what do you mean?
I mean, the whole time we're getting fucking abused. But when the basics came out and we were forced to stay up all night every day and do burpees and get humiliated and all the abortions and people are wanting to leave and all the blows and all the fucking crazy shit that happened, all the stealing and the theft and all the illegal IRS shit that was going on. I feel like it all sort of came to in 2009. It was like mid 2009 when Juan Salas and Justin Ford came to the base. They were RTC trainees, and they did this whole thing where they were trying to get the schedule back in, they called it. And that was where we were allowed to go to bed at like 10 o'clock. And then we had to get put on the basics books and lectures. There was a whole thing about that. and then that was when I became the staff section officer, and we started offloading people. We started offloading like a whole bunch of medical people. I did tons of sec checks, confessionals to get staff to leave. People were getting pregnant, so I was auditing pregnant
I was
people.
gonna say, did you offload any pregnant people? Because that was the time of Mark
Yeah,
and Claire Headley's lawsuit about forced abortions.
I offloaded.
Mm.
I know about I know about coerced abortions, and but I also know that I was offloading people who were pregnant, who were leaving pregnant. That's what I'm talking about. That
Right, because they were suing for forced abortions
right?
publicly, Mark and Claire. So the Sea Org started getting rid of pregnant
Oh
people instead of forcing them to abort.
no, we forced somebody to abort at that time.
I don't mean all of them. Yeah.
There was one person I didn't force him. I wouldn't say I forced him, but it was um she she did she was getting auditing, and she was just pressured by Odo and her master at arms in our org to get this abortion to stay in the Sea Org because it was the greatest good, because her husband was a security guard who
Oh,
worked under Odo. And so it would be a huge blow to security if they were to get pregnant and leave the Sea Org. So that was like the main
right.
thing. And that's how she got really guilt tripped into getting this abortion. Well, I tell you what, I've never seen anyone so fucking sad in my life. She thought she killed her own baby and all this stuff. And that created a major rift for me. I didn't want to be involved in this. Like, this is my friend. And then she ended up getting a chemical abortion,
Oh, fuck.
which was just awful. And then so it was still going on. Still going on. Like forced abortion, that's normal. Like it's the greatest good to stay in the Sea Org and clear the planet than it is to have stupid bodies and babies, and
It's
it will
Yeah,
be
for
in the
still
sure.
going.
best universe.
It's still
That's what they would
going.
say. That's how I look at it.
It's still going on in the anti-Scientology community too. Apparently.
Oh, with Aaron?
Mm-hmm.
I haven't watched much of that stuff.
Yeah. What would you, if you had a what do you, what are your thoughts about Aaron? If you don't mind me asking you.
Aaron, I think he's a piece of shit and he's a fucking liar, and quite frankly, I think he's psychotic. And um this whole the videos of him like throwing that girl against the wall, like I don't know why I justified it. Um I don't know how I just justified it, but it really made me think about the time when I was with Aaron. And it was like, we were super against each other. We used to fight and stuff. We didn't physically fight, but
You're talking about in the Sea Org?
yeah, in the Sea Org. But yeah. So I think he's. I wish I had enough money I could go counter protest him. You know, I
Give
would
it time,
totally.
Lewis. That's season 70. That's season 72.
And I've thought about, fantasized about counter protesting him many times.
Yeah, we're
Yes.
only in season 69 right now.
Yeah, we're gonna make that happen. We're gonna make that happen.
I feel
Mark my
here.
words.
So I've been in touch with a Scientologist, and
Yeah.
so I asked them about, like, do they know anything about this protest community? Do they know about Aaron Smith Levin? And really, no, they knew nothing. Like, they just knew that Aaron Smith Levin was, declared SP. Like, they didn't know shit. nothing about all the protests. They didn't see anything about it, and they did use YouTube. And when I brought up things that were real, problems with Scientology, that I thought that they would be like, "Oh yeah, like that's Scientology's crap." Well, they would just do what Scientology tells you to do, which is blame one specific person. So it wasn't Scientology, it wasn't L. Ron Hubbard, and that was frustrating talking to that person. So I think Aaron is just like the reason why I'm talking about that is because I think like what he's doing, it's not working. I get he's telling the WOG world and all this stuff about all these things, and maybe he is getting some influence from other places, but it's not working on the Scientology community. It's just not. None of this is working on the Scientology community somehow.
Well, did you see that Kendrick Moxon has a bunch of lawsuits against LA in the last 2.5 months? He's filed 4 lawsuits against LA and LAPD.
I just saw your thumbnail, the title. That's the only thing I saw. Is that just basically the information?
Oh, well, I read this was actually supposed to be a stream.
Stop putting that damn finger up.
Sorry.
It's cracking me up.
This stream was supposed to be this morning, and the power went out at like 8:30 in the morning. So the stream was still set. And then when I kicked out of the stream here and let Auntie talk, I changed the name to Louis Repetto Makes His Appearance or something like that, because you are
the moment.
You are the moment, and I think everyone here is very grateful that you are here and that you bless us with your appearance. So it's been a long time coming, and I'd never expected it to be as good as it is right now. So I appreciate you being here.
Oh yeah, high five. Oh no, the other way.
Put that hand down. Don't zoom in again.
Hold on, I got it.
No, I think it's the other way.
Oh, that's me. Your hand is up to me, Louis. Put it to the other side. There you go.
There we go.
DOA, back up. Back up.
A touch assist.
I can't. There you go. Okay. What would God do without a woman? God damn it.
So on Aaron, I think it sucks that he's so popular. I mean, but is he really that popular? Does he buy all of his views? But also, he only got that from covering the Danny Masterson trial.
That's what I was just about to say.
And he only got that because of Leah Remini. And then he's like fucking over Leah Remini. Like, fuck you, asshole. Like, you came from this show and you're like shoving your tiny little dick into her business. Like, I don't understand that at all. Like, he just seems like a kamikaze psychotic that doesn't really know where he's what he's doing.
And what do you think about Leah? What do you think about like Leah and the Mike Rinder stuff? Like, because to me, it seems like Leah has been one of the most damaging persons to Scientology. And even Moxon's 4 lawsuits that were just filed, it all relates to Leah. And here, I'm gonna actually give everyone because at this point I don't really even care. I'm not sure if you guys are aware of the Spanish guy that came to the Blue Building and threw flyers that said Scientology is a cult, and they chased him down and they put him in jail. And the public defender, they were trying to get him to admit that Leah Remini that the Aftermath series inspired him to have hate crimes against the Church of Scientology. And the public defender defended him. and Moxon got kicked out of the courtroom that day, that is the judge in my felony case right now. Just so everybody knows.
Nice.
And yeah, I just thought that was an interesting little tidbit.
That's
I haven't
awesome,
told
man.
I haven't told. This is the first time I said it out publicly. But
Oh
if
shit! You know, Scientology is going to try to get this judge off the case now.
well, so be it. That's yeah. So yeah, if you Mark Batista, no, his name is, and I don't know if he was in favor of kicking him out or not kicking him out, but Moxon got asked to leave the courtroom. So
boom, take that, Moxon, you fucking old bastard.
Yeah, I mean, but Moxon is doing all the work. He's still doing all the dirty work.
But he's like 85, dude.
Yeah, he's so. I mean, he just
Who's gonna
filed
take
4
the next?
lawsuits.
Who's gonna take over from him? Jennifer? She's like doesn't have a law
Jennifer.
degree.
His son.
His son
I
works
don't think they're gonna
for.
last that.
Yeah, his son works at. He's in the Sea Org. Brian Moxon.
Yeah.
Well, allegedly, Pearl was
Or
saying
was.
that Moxon's brother or some relative was a firm from Texas too. But I don't know how true that was because I don't believe Pearl. She's a liar.
Don't know. I know I used to be in the Sea Org with Audrey Moxon. That was his daughter. And then Brian Moxon, I only knew him like because of Audrey.
Did you see that they got Audrey's police report?
That's Stacy.
Oh, Stacy.
Yeah.
I mean, I did watch some of the stuff about it. I know what Audrey told me. But so
Care to indulge?
She was pretty upset that she just found out that her sister had committed suicide. I remember she was fairly upset that she found that out later. She found it out later.
Wow.
When she was at ASHO, she found that out, which was where I was. So she used to be in the International Liaison Org, which is where the HGB is, LRH Life Exhibition. And that was where Rick Moxon was primarily working, of course. And because of that's where OSA Int is. That's where the lawyers work. Well, Audrey was working there as well. She was in the Commoner's Messenger org called CMO IXU. And she was married to somebody, and that's when the thing happened. And then she got transferred to ASHO because Audrey was severely affected, like mentally, from the situation that happened. And so she was moved to ASHO. We became really good friends, and I audited her on something that they left her in the middle of, this auditing action. And that's when she told me about how she said, I just found out that my sister actually committed suicide.
Oh, fuck.
That's what she said. Like, I don't know if any of that stuff is true. Like, I didn't have the true information, and I really had no clue what she was talking about. But when you're in session and you're in the auditor, you can't ask personal questions like that. You're just listening and acknowledging.
I understand.
Yeah.
How did that make you feel?
You wouldn't ask that question, but yeah,
no,
you
I know,
ask similar stuff. You asked more like what I did was I asked her for an ARC break of long duration, and then I assessed it.
Is affinity, reality, and communication.
So then she answered. It was a long fall, I remember, and she was sad. So then I did. Do you have an ARC break of long duration? And that was when I found out the information. Because you don't give all the information when you're talking about your upsets. You only give a tiny little bit of information, like 5 or 6 words. But when you're doing confessionals, that's when you have to give all the information, like every fucking detail.
Fascinating. I'm changing the subject. If there was anything you had to say to Mandy, what would you say to Mandy?
What would I say to Mandy?
Yeah.
I would say, fuck you. You're a fucking liar. and you were never a victim of me or that person in wherever from that you said raped you or whatever.
Rape multiple other people.
Raped other people.
Yeah, that he was raping multiple people in that lawsuit.
I would just, that's all I would say.
Do you have like,
I don't know.
like,
I've moved on from all of that. I feel like that doesn't define me, even though it's something, it's like I can't control, like Shannon, she could she said I'm like this rapist and all this shit. And she said that I made her a victim somehow, and Nance Drew and said made her a victim and all these things. I don't, thinking about it, I just moved on, I don't know. I just fucking moved on because my real enemy is Scientology. But these people, I feel like this could, like, even people I'm not involved with Scientology, like I've seen people at work, tell lies about other people. Should I get caught up in that too? So I don't know, honestly. Other than, fuck you. That didn't happen. You're a liar.
Well said. Well said. Thank you. That was yeah. I've been accused of it, not of that, but of like molesting my niece and touching my friend's kid, and I don't know, that had a huge effect on my psyche. So I can't imagine what you went through.
Yeah, well, it was happening right as the Church of Scientology was giving me the shaft, in the real world, not just fucking La La Land over in YouTube land,
Yeah.
But in the real world, where I'm gonna get possibly a record and like all, like real shit, happening at the same time. Oh my God, I went through everything that L. Ron Hubbard said would happen to me did happen. So like he says, when you attack a suppressive person, they'll either run away or they'll cave in, and you can make them paranoid. You can make them have psychotic breaks, and you can do all these things to them, and all of the power of suggestion within that, I think, affected me pretty badly for a while. I ended up seeing a doctor, and the doctor prescribed me some medicine and stuff. And holy shit, I took one of those pills. One of those pills, man. It changed everything.
Dude, good for
It
you.
changed
I
my
can't imagine
mind.
how hard that was for you to go in and get meds
Oh,
for that.
it was so hard because it was hard to tell her too, because she
Yeah, of
didn't
course.
understand. And I was having issues with because I still, at the time, I still believed in like kind of like body things and stuff. And
Yeah.
so I was struggling with that body thetans thing.
Like it wasn't
And
you, it was an outer being that was controlling your mind.
no, I was
Like is that
just feeling like, um I don't want to say it because it sounds crazy. Has nothing the body things don't have anything to do with something that I did or anything. It's
okay.
just uh something to do with Scientology, where you believe that there's like spirits there, body thetans, and you believe that they're there, and they're stuck to you, and they're all around you. Maybe you can telepathically communicate to them and stuff. They call this type 3 break, where
Yeah.
you're like kind
Like
of like
Lisa
talking to
McPherson.
ghosts. kind of like talking to ghosts and stuff. And so I kind of went through like a period of that, and I had to tell this doctor, it was a medical doctor, you know, and she just was like, well, let's just try doing this. And so I took that one pill, and it really changed a lot. And I didn't even have to take another pill after that because it was making me really tired. But it changed something in my mind. I don't even know how to describe it, but it moved things in my mind, and I wasn't like stuck in this Scientology like hypnotic state that happens to you when you get um, suppressive person tactics done on you, which is all outlined in the PTSSP course. So he outlines the things that are going to happen to you, and then it happens to you, you know? So I feel like I was going through that stuff, and the pill really helped me get out of all of that. And then I started getting better. And then I started just to focus more on like life and stuff. And then the court stuff sort of went away. It stopped. I could have fought it in court, but on the trial for the misdemeanor for like the failure to comply and stuff. But it was so stressful. It was like, it felt like I felt so stressed out by it. Like it
Yeah.
was like constantly in, I don't know, it's like,
I understand.
I don't know how to describe it, man. It's
Oh,
fucking
it's
sucks.
it's. I have 16 misdemeanors and 6 felonies. I fully understand what you went through.
Yeah. Fucking sucks. Feels like shit. You don't know what's gonna happen with your life. You could get fired over this. I could have gotten fired, you know, and I made appetite hard to eat, and other things made difficult.
I
That
had the
was just like the
opposite.
Scientology part. Sorry.
I've had the opposite. I've eaten. I just keep eating. That the stress of it is, yeah. I just find solace in eating, and I put on so much weight from the court cases. Really, so I understand.
Yeah, it was so insane, man. I couldn't understand. I wanted to understand the law so well, you know, really well, but there was just pitfalls I can't see. I just had no idea they were there, and I just stepped right into them. And then at the same time, I had, you know, this thing on YouTube happening. And I just was like, well, I just need to focus on my main enemy, which is Scientology. You know, they're trying to make me kill myself. I knew it's what they're trying to do. They're trying to put me in a state where I kill myself, because that's part of the technology of handling SPs is you want them to either run away or they cave in and die. That is an LRH reference. So I knew they were trying to do that. And um, I was I wouldn't say I was gonna kill myself or something, but, you know, I was there, you know. And so I just was like, I need to focus just on Scientology because that is what I can control. I can do things, I can feel like I'm doing something so that I feel at cause over this situation, even though they're totally putting me in the ground with this legal stuff. End of story.
Oh man, like holy cow! I I appreciate. I'm so glad that you didn't kill yourself, and I was almost at that point where I just wanted to step in front of a car, and I'm glad that both of us got out of it, and your voice and what information you have, Lewis, is so important to telling the story of what Scientology is. And I mean, just listening to you talk is so much more informative than all the other Scientology channels combined. Truthfully, um, I just appreciate so much that you have to offer. So thank you for coming up and gracing us with your. Someone just said you could be my expert witness.
Yeah, thanks, man. I'm a big fan.
Well, I'm gonna win, and you know I've gone through a lot, and I was telling my friend today, I was like, I've been in the mud with a lot of the trolls and kind of just the fake YouTube land stuff that doesn't matter. And today it was like, you know what, my goal when I first came here was to grow my channel, to bring some eyes onto my friend Jay in California from his racist neighbors, and I fell in love, and I felt the trauma. I took on the trauma of Laura and what she had been through, and I'm here because of what Scientology does is not okay. And unfortunately, I'm a martyr for standing up to it because I'm in court, and so many of the players have been used to put me in a cage and try to cage me. And I'm here for the fight, and I've been back and forth on that, but I don't want to take a plea deal. I want to expose as much as I could expose. So
You can do it. I believe.
Yeah, I do too.
Dude, either way, you're gonna go down. You're gonna fucking totally expose so much shit.
Well, and I have a bunch of lawsuits that are about to start coming, and I'm thinking about filing alongside Moxon and suing for the public records. And so I have a lot of work to do for that. But you know, it's been everyone in chat that's really, you know, where I think I've been different than a lot of the other streamers is that I have this support system, that there's a lot of people who are doing a lot of different work in the back end trying to get the information so that we can move forward into some actual lawsuits. So it was great hearing about even the story about Gavin Potter, because I think that Gavin Potter case is very important, and so is Leah's Leah's case is also very important.
Yeah, Leah's the bomb, man. You know, her mom used to be my student when
Vicky was
I
your
was in the
student?
yeah, we were like we were really good friends, and we used to meet at the coffee place near the base, like early before the course started, and then we drink coffee, and then we go on base and we do a bunch of drills for her course. She was on the Sandal Special Briefing course, and then, but even before that, I was a student in her school, Academy for Smart Kids. So,
Yep.
but Leah, I never knew really Leah that much. I knew her sister Shannon. Shannon was not in the Sea Org, and I think Leah was in the Sea Org for a time. I read her book, but have you ever listened to her podcast? Because she is just so good at explaining everything, and she really brings the aggressive hammer to Scientology. And even more, I think she's better than Mike Rinder. She's better at explaining things than Mike Rinder even is, because Mike just sort of goes off on a tangent. I think he's sort of like kind of like how I am. I go off on a tangent. Leah really fucking is good at talking about Scientology and the abuses. Then she made that whole show. So I'm, you know, no matter what happens with Leah, I think she's definitely one of the best SPs on the planet.
I agree with you. I agree with you. And by watching what Moxon is doing, they are full force after Leah, and they continue to be full force
Yeah,
after Leah.
that's never
And
gonna end. And other people too. I'm sure they're doing it too. Like Katie Holmes. I'm sure they're doing stuff to her.
mm,
Oh yeah, fuck yeah.
well, geez. Well, I think I'm gonna wrap this up. I hope you come back up another time, or I could come over to your channel. But I would love to. You are just. I'm sure there's gonna be 1,000 questions, and I just. You're so valuable. Please come back again.
I'm gonna jump off for the ending so you can get final thoughts from Lewis and whatever, DOA.
All right, it was good
Thanks for
talking to
talking
you.
to me, and that was amazing. You're amazing. Hold your head up. You got this. Both of y'all, actually.
Well, thank you, Auntie.
We're doing the peace
Well,
symbol.
yeah. You want to give some final words or something?
Just in regards to what I would say to Mandy, I don't know. I never thought about that question. Would I say anything to her? No. But I don't really think I need to say anything to her. I don't think she's worth my time, to be honest with you. I don't really give it. I think it sucks that just a whole bunch of random people are just believing stuff and based on nothing really. And I get that she was like spearheading the movement with Shannon, and then they started fighting each other recently about what they were going to read in that first video, because I had put that video out about Mandy, how she said one thing and then she said the exact opposite later. Like, what?
Mhm,
Are you fucking stupid?
mhm.
Okay, like, did you think that this was like not going to go unnoticed? Of course, they're going to be recording you saying opposite things, fucking idiot. But the Shannon, why is like, I can't figure out, is she some kind of social engineer or something? And also, I don't really give a shit. Like, I don't want to give her I don't want to be talking about her necessarily, because she's going to be clipping this part and then talking about me. And it's like, I don't care about you. All I care about is telling people that the Church of Scientology is a scam. Like, my enemy is the Church of Scientology. So I'm not going to fight with these other people necessarily. I guess it's you know, I know it's entertaining. I'm sure it's entertaining. And I'm sure Shannon wanted to get her limelight. You know how she's like this amazing woman who spearheads and finds secret predators in various communities, and you know, but she didn't get the fame and fortune. Her channel sucks. It's tiny as fucking hell. Like, no one that I know would ever know anything about her. The only person that has a huge channel and who said shit about me is Aaron Smith Levin, and that's why I'm just gonna, and that's, I think that's fucked up. I wish I could counter protest him, man, for that shit.
Lewis,
I'd love to
Lewis,
get in
if
his
there's
fucking face.
Lewis, we're gonna make that happen. Okay. If there, I could. There's one thing I could tell you. We will. That's going to happen. Okay. Let's just put this in our box of things to do and put it on the bucket list, because when I get this ankle monitor off, man, I'm gonna come and pick you up, and we're gonna fly out. It's happening.
Yeah, we can fly
Okay.
out there. Only round trip's
Yeah.
only like
It's
$400.
yeah. No. It's
I've
money's
looked
not
into
an
this.
issue. Money's not an issue. Money will not be an issue for that. I promise. Okay. If there's anything that I do good, it is counter protesting. So yes, the chat will make that happen. We got you. So that's
Boom.
very possible. So thank you so much.
All right, man. I like watching you, man. I like your thumbnails.
Well, thank you, Lewis, man.
And
I
all
appreciate
your
you so
protesting,
much.
dude. Fucking awesome. Just keep going. I say, keep going. And then if you need to take a break, take a break. If you need a 5-year break, take a 5-year break, you know, and then come back.
Hell
Or
yeah.
6
I
months,
might,
whatever you need.
I might try to get you out here as my expert Scientology witness. So, they would hate that, but all right.
Oh,
Thank you,
God,
Lewis.
yeah.
I
All right, man.
appreciate you so much. Have a good one. I have so much respect for how Lewis just handled those questions. I don't know what I was expecting. I thought he would give some like long-winded like response with all these facts, and he is not in the mud. And I think that's a lesson for me to learn. I don't need to be in the mud either. And so I'm going to be working really hard not to be in the mud anymore. And I apologize if I've been into the mud. And the goal is Scientology. You know, the goal is to expose Scientology. And did not expect this stream to be as amazing as it ended up being. Thank you, Auntie, for coming up here. And Auntie was just like waiting to use all her Scientology terms. And we're here for the fight. We're here to expose Scientology. And the people that are surrounding us are amazing people. And I'm gonna take a lesson from Lewis. It was something that I was feeling this morning, and I am not going to be in the mud. I am not a pig, and so glad Lewis didn't end his life. That Scientology failed, and we are all that much smarter now. So thank you everyone who's been here. Thank you everyone who's given me space to question that story about Lewis. And I'm so proud that Lewis came on. Like he was so valuable to the story. And yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. And this is going to be a stream to remember. Out of the mud into the clean water, y'all. Much love. Scientology's a cult.